Welcome, everyone, to TJ and the Grumpy Old Man, a twice-a-week all-sports podcast where we talk anything and everything sports. I'm your host, TJ, and with me here, as always, is the Grumpy Old Man. They say there's no shame to his game because he's always the same.
That's me.
And with us here, we've got co-host who has finally made his way back to the show, the magnificent Son X.
Nice cheap shot. X.
It's X time.
It's X time, he says. It's X time. We're happy to have you back, Son X. It's not the same. It doesn't run as well and as much of a well-oiled machine without the magnificent Son X. That's for certain.
You're involved directly.
Oh, is that what it is, X? Because I'm involved?
X, why do you sound muffled? Why don't you get your face closer to the microphone?
Is this better? Can you hear me better?
Wow.
X. Want me to do the podcast like this?
Whoa, X. I like this. We're going to zoom in on your face, too. You got some dark rings under your eyes, X.
Looks like he's got beady little shifty eyes when I'm looking. I see him like a little shifty.
Don't be jealous because I can open my eyes unlike you.
Oh, looky there, X. Looky there. X taking.
I could see a television reflection in his eyes, TJ.
Ooh, do you see the score of the game?
Oh, welcome. For those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. It's a twice-a-week all-sports podcast that takes place every single Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and every Sunday around 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Wrong again.
So if you're new to the channel, there's a few things I ask you to do. If you
like a half hour late, you'll be on time.
If you like the content we put out, make sure you subscribe on YouTube. So you get notifications when we start our shows. You get notifications when we go live. So you don't miss out on any of the action. You got to make sure you subscribe on YouTube. And also like the video. Hit a thumbs up because also apparently that helps the algorithm. It helps get this fun time of talking sports, the fun banter we have, and the fun time just shooting the shit out to the masses. So make sure you subscribe on YouTube and you like the video. For today's episode, we've got quite a few things to cover. It was a crazy week in football in general, NFL, college football, a lot of crazy happenings that went down. We're going to go ahead and talk about that. We're going to talk about the MLB playoffs. The MLB playoffs, I tell you, it's electric. The Astros and the Rangers, I tell you, have one hell of a series that's going on right now. So we're going to talk a little about that. We're going to talk a little bit about the World Series, who we think is going to win the World Series.
We don't even know who's in the World Series yet.
We're going to give our predictions, right? Who do you think is going to make it to the World Series? Who do you think is going to win? Who are you putting your money on?
The World Series? Oh, I think it's going to be the Phillies and the Astros.
Okay, so you think the Astros are going to beat out the Rangers?
Yeah, I do, because the Rangers look like they've fallen apart after that Jose Altuve nuke.
So we'll talk about that. We'll also go ahead and talk about the NHL, the happenings in the NHL, and much, much more. But let's jump a little bit into some college football to start here, right? I feel like, football is what happens towards the end. Let's talk a little bit about what happened on Saturday, Grumpy Old Man. Did you happen to keep in touch there, Grumpy, and watch what was happening in college football on Saturday?
Not really, no. Why?
No, that team that you love so much, Grumpy Old Man, the USC Trojans. You're a big fan of Lincoln Riley as head coach. Did you see what happened in that game, that big game against Utah?
Caleb Williams has lost for his third year in a row to Utah.
He lost. They had the game under control. They gave up a big 26-yard run, which set them up into field goal range. And they lost the last play of the game. Field goal wins it for Utah. Good.
Hold on.
Good win for Utah.
You said that USC had the game under control?
They took the lead with like a minute something to go. They wind up getting a roughing the passer targeting, which I thought was ridiculous. Now, I think he's 15 yards, but it wasn't targeting for certain.
It shouldn't have been a game misconduct. That's what they called it, right?
Right. And that when they say it's targeting, the guy gets tossed. That hurt them. And then they had a big 26-yard quarterback scramble with like no timeouts left, which I thought was pretty ballsy by the quarterback. And then they kicked the game-winning field goal. So good for them. Good job by Utah.
Utah had a lead, and I'm shocked they almost let that lead slip through their fingers, right? I don't know if you guys noticed this, but they were doing a lot of this. Anytime they didn't run no huddle and the offense made any substitutions, And now some teams do this in college football. They'll send the biggest defensive tackle or the biggest guy on the field to make a substitution, and he'll do the fat man jog. And I could tell you, as being an ex-fat guy there on the line, when you're doing the fat man jog, you're trying to take up as much time as humanly possible in order to make sure they don't have a lot of times to make any sort of adjustments at the line of scrimmage, and they pretty much have to snap the ball as soon as they allow the play to happen. So this is what Utah was doing all game against USC, and it was smart. It kind of, I think, threw off their offense a little bit.
Tool, it'll be 3rd down and 7. They get a yard off of it.
The offense makes a substitution. That has to allow the defense.
Dime set all year. They're very willing to let their defensive line and linebackers play some coverage.
You're seeing a lot of teams do that now.
Yes. Pittsburgh's been doing that for a long time, too.
You're going to see teams start running no huddle then. You're just start running no huddle, 2 minute,
That's
2 minute
right.
offense.
Don't change
then
our
that'll
guys,
run
run them
shit.
out of gas,
Yep.
run the fat boys, because they just use it as a stalling tactic.
Yeah.
Think about it. He started this. The official doesn't move away to say you can snap the ball until there's really 3 seconds left on the play clock.
What they should do, if they're going to do that, stop the clock.
Yep.
Stop
That
the clock.
eliminates that shit.
You can't, because here's the thing. If they take their time, they can just run out the play clock.
The play clock. Who's to say I don't just walk out there on the field?
There has to be that
What
fine
is
in
going on?
between. But what you do, that's the reason you bring the fattest son of a gun that you've got on the team to make that. Because look at how he moves. Nobody's questioning that, oh, maybe he's not moving fast. They're just like, this guy's 360 pounds. He probably doesn't
19
move very
seconds.
quickly.
19 seconds on the play clock down to 3. See, that's
Think about it. They start the motion.
You know what? Here's the thing. I don't give a shit if you can't sub your guy on in time. That's what happens. You can't. you either stop the play. You either stop the clock to let them do that, or you're gonna get a penalty because teams are taking advantage of it.
Advantage of it. Exactly what
I just find it. Here's the thing. I know we're going to talk about, whatever happened with Michigan. I know we're going to talk about that. Correct, TJ?
What do you mean, Michigan? No, we're not touching the subject that you sent me an article on. No, we're not touching that after last week's podcast or last Thursday's podcast. There's certain spots we won't touch. We will not bother with that one.
I heard you guys had a pretty good podcast on Thursday.
It was very good.
I couldn't find where to watch it though.
You can ask Grumpy where to go ahead and watch that podcast if you're so inclined.
Did you forget to post that one?
He did.
No, I did. I didn't forget to post that one. That's for certain.
Screwed it up.
DJ, what the hell?
Yeah, wop wop. I just made a mistake. I posted it in the wrong spot. Oh, okay. No, we made sure we had to make adjustments to that one. But
I will say, Grumpy was just hopping on the bandwagon with this comment. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh my God.
Which
Anyway.
no, all I think is you're seeing that defenses are now trying to run clock down, slow the play up. You got to just stop it immediately. Just got to. It's a form of cheating. It absolutely is. So let's see if they have the balls to step on these teams.
You know what
This
it is?
not
It's
the
the
first
same
game.
shit as people laying down, faking being injured to get timeouts. It's
That
the same
happened in-
exact shit.
That happened to the Giants game today. They weren't buying it, and they just said penalty, run the clock out, Giants win the game. That's what happened. Giants Redskins game. Giants, whatever they call themselves now.
Commanders.
Redskins. Giants Redskins game.
The Commanders game. Yeah. But you're seeing this happen a lot, specifically with these teams that are high flying offenses. Some teams do it a little different, but it's like it's kind of like the running secret that happens amongst all of these teams. They'll have players that are like, oh, where I'm going to go ahead. I'm starting to cramp up, or I'm starting to feel a little tight, and I'm going to lay there on the ground, allow us to get some substitutions in. Oh man, you're seeing that more and more often. You're seeing the substitution with the big slow guy in order not to allow the team to have enough time and actually to make any sort of adjustment there once the play clock, once the referee steps away. You're seeing it more and more often. Something does need to be done to address that. I do agree with that though, Grump.
Yep.
And
Because
Yeah,
every
give them a
team,
penalty or stop the clock.
right. Every team is going to take every advantage they possibly can to take advantage of whatever rules there are.
I don't blame them either. Do you?
Fuck them.
Okay. I just think that, the Michigan situation that I sent the thing, they buried that kid who was supposedly, he was supposedly the guy who was stealing signs.
Okay, I thought you were gonna. I thought you were talking about. I thought you were saying
Michigan
Michigan, but meant
State.
Michigan State. I thought
Two things,
I thought Grumpy was making a mistake. Okay.
No, Michigan.
No.
No, Michigan. And I sent you an article on it today. So do you think that this kid, all on his own, is going out and stealing signs from another team? The coaches, every team does that, by the way. Every team does it. And just the fakeness to say, we're here to protect the integrity of the game. They don't give two shits about the integrity of the game. And so what does Michigan do? They fire or suspend this kid. I don't even know how old he is, whatever he is. So he's the scapegoat. Because do you believe that he doesn't have the okay from somebody on the coaching staff? Yeah, let's do that. Or you think he's just wildcat doing that on his own?
I think he's on his own.
He's a scapegoat.
He went against coach's orders. The coaches told him not.
We'll talk about that in a second. I do want to finish up what happened because the USC game was an entertaining game, right? For it being a Saturday evening game, that was a really entertaining game. Like in the last 3 games they've played.
I put on I watched the last after USC scored the last touchdown. All I did was just flip it on for that last Utah drive. I didn't see anything else besides that.
Well, what set them up in position, right? Utah was up by 5 points. They're punting the ball with 2 minutes and 9 seconds left. And the USC offense had kind of been a little bit stagnant today. But this is, watch this punt return that really sets everything in motion.
And one timeout still in the bank. 2:09. Loads of time for this offense.
Echoing. You're echoing.
Okay, Grumpy, we'll just put no volume on. Thank you very much. I know every time we run it, it echoes. I don't need you to hear me to tell me it echoes like that. But exactly. Think about it. If you would have told me USC lost this game with 1 minute and 52 seconds left, Utah has 3 timeouts, they're down by 5, and you've got 1 minute and 52 seconds, and you lose this game, it's kind of almost a shock, right? I mean, they were in great position to win that game. They scored.
Not really. USC's defense is complete ass, and they freaking scored way too early and gave Utah too much time.
They scored in the first play. I think they scored in the first play.
Yeah, they gave him too much time.
Maybe we should have run the football instead of trying.
You know what? A team similar to that did the same exact thing today in a 1 o'clock game.
Buffalo Bills head coach Sean McDermott should be fired. Buffalo's not winning with him as head coach.
Nope.
He does too much. He does that stupid shit over and over. The same stupid shit. You watch these coaches, they do the same stupid shit over and over and over and over again. They never learn from it. Those guys should be fired. He's a dumbass. Sean McDermott is the stupidest coach this week. And I classify this week because, there'll be some idiot next week. He blew that today. He blew that game against New England. I'm sure we're going to talk about it later, so I don't want to get too worked up.
Well, yeah, let's table that. I want you to go ahead and because you mentioned a little earlier Michigan regarding the sign stealing and the cheating. Tell me a little bit more about what your thoughts are on that. How did they get caught? What happened from this? Evidence mounting there against it. I mean, tell me a little bit of thoughts on that there. Because think about it. I would say this is the second scandal, I'm using air quotes, that has followed Michigan. Remember when they punished the hell out of Jim Harbaugh for buying somebody a hamburger and French fries before we changed the rules for the name, image, and likeness? He got crucified for buying a guy a hamburger and French fries, a recruit, during that COVID time period. He had to serve a 3-game self-imposed suspension. Remember that one? So, Grump, fill me in a little bit about what happened.
Sounds like they got it out for Michigan. Is what it sounds like to me.
Fill me in a little bit about what this Michigan sign stealing, what happened with the sign stealing.
Some kid was stealing signs. That's what he's doing to teams that are playing games. You're not allowed to get game film in the NCAA. Or in that conference. You're not allowed to get game film from the opposing team. And I guess he was looking at their signs like every team does. I don't care what they say. That's what happens. I mean, I sent you the article. You can just post up there and we can kind of just go through it if you like.
Grumpy, I'm not posting and showing because the RAM to hold one of those ESPN articles and all the pop-ups that come with it cannot happen. Okay.
Okay.
I want you.
They got caught stealing signs and they made this kid the scapegoat. That's what happened. Long story short, that's what happened. I just think it's wrong. Every team does that shit. Every single team does it. If you're telling me you don't, they're all playing to win. These kids aren't going to school to become rocket scientists or anything like that. They're to play football.
Yep. And especially now that they're getting paid, that's all they're there to do.
I'll let you listen to this because I know Grumpy loves Pat McAfee because they had a little bit of an opinion there on it too.
Now
Grumpy.
let's talk about this Michigan thing because obviously you're connected
everywhere.
The coaches,
commissioners,
I see everything. Whenever it gets to this,
You can't hear Grumpy?
It's going
like a mother.
Yeah. It's going
Okay.
echo, echo, echo. You cannot hear anything said intelligently.
Jesus Christ, Grumpy. Okay. Well, I'll be back.
Okay, that's just what's happening. You don't want to know. That's fine.
That shit sounds horrible.
It does. Let's read a couple of comments since TJ.
Okay, let's get to some comments. TJ's boring. All right, here we go.
He's a drag. Joseph C says, looks like no third straight Hall of Fame quarterback for the Packers. Jordan Love sucks. A little early to say that. It's his first year playing. So, I'm not.
This really? Hold on. Really? This is the immediate jump to the comments. You had nothing else you wanted to talk about. Like I leave for a second and it's
God, dude, Tyrant.
Shut up, Tyrant. Shut up, Tyrant.
What the fuck?
Your failure as host has been documented many times.
Can you see? Let's see if it's any better.
You sound like an effing robot.
Obviously you're connected
everywhere.
Coaches, commissioners, I see to everything.
You can't hear anything.
It's echoing.
Repeating over and over and over again what he's saying. It's doubling up what he's saying.
Again, your failure as host is very prevalent. That's why we have X in the top spot now.
Thank
You know what it is? Grumpy,
Why don't you just tell us what he
mute
said?
yourself. Grumpy, mute yourself. That's what I
it's
want
my
you to do.
fault.
Mute yourself because I'm hearing the echo when I'm listening to it on the playback. Mute yourself. See if that does any difference here.
Whenever it gets to this level of have to be talked about when it comes to stealing signs, which I think
still
is
happening.
everybody kind of understands.
You're saying it's still
mute
up?
myself
Maybe,
too.
TJ, maybe you should mute yourself and play it. I know it's very easy for you to blame me for anything that goes wrong, but it's you. I'm just a participant. You're the guy who runs the show. Any fuck ups are because of you, not me.
And
not X. Look at X over there. He's like a hero right now.
it ain't gonna fucking work. It ain't working for you, buddy.
To save me now.
Why don't you mute everyone and try to run it? Can you do that?
Jesus Christ.
Okay,
Okay.
I'll mute myself.
Let's all try to mute
I'll mute
each other.
myself. This will be a fun podcast. Everyone mutes himself.
Gracious. Oh man. Let's try to give this one more shot here and I'll make sure I mute myself. We'll see what the hell's going on with this. So the review is coming from because I hear it in post, but let's try this one more time.
It's already going to be bad, I can tell.
I think it's much more serious. Like with the Astros, like what happened with the Patriots. What are we thinking? Anything and the inevitable outcome in your eyes at this moment as we sit.
So let's start with where we are right now, Pat. We reported late last night on ESPN.com that
And it's not going to be able to get done, buddy. That's
Okay.
it's just
Can't play any videos with sound anymore.
Is that what it is, X?
Ever again. You know what I think we should do? Go to some comments.
All right, you can
Here we
start
go.
reading some comments. Do whatever you
Joseph
want.
C says, wonder if there will be a quarterback controversy among the Giants as well. Tyrod Taylor has shown he can actually provide the Giants offense, unlike Daniel Jones. Okay. No. You're not paying a guy $40 million a year
This
to
is
sit
what-
him on the bench because he's hurt. So no, absolutely not. Drew says, also, Caleb Williams sucks. He's a glorified Kyler Murray. I don't think he's X. What's your impression on him?
He's looked like absolute shit the last couple of weeks. I'm not gonna lie. It seems like ever since, for a guy who's putting in demands on wanting ownership for an NFL team, and a guy who's saying he's not going to come out in the draft unless one of these selected 5 teams or whatever want to draft him, he looks like a piece of shit. I want to be honest. He looks terrible.
I've never thought he was really that good. And I'm not saying he won't turn out to be a good pro quarterback. Maybe it's his body type. Maybe it's where his uniform fits. He just doesn't look right to me.
And I don't know if you heard his comments in the press conference after they had their loss, their loss against Notre Dame. He said, nobody else can fit in these size 12 cleats like I can. That's what he said.
Maybe he's got bigger feet than size 12.
He sounds like an absolute asshole.
Maybe he's trying Maybe he's jammed.
Size 12.
I'm trying to get this switched up here. X. I'm sorry. Go ahead and continue though.
Okay.
Maybe what he's doing. Okay, now we're getting echo all the time.
You.
Oh, motherfucker.
Whatever you're doing isn't working.
Grump will do the podcast on our own.
Take it fucking deep, X. Finish your point, Grump.
Whatever, like I said, maybe the issue with Caleb Williams is no one can fill size 12 shoes like him. Maybe because he's got a size 14 foot that he jams into size 12 cleats. Maybe that's what he meant. I don't know. But I've never thought he's that great. I mean, I know he puts up good numbers, but I've never been super impressed by him. And that's not to mean that he can't be a good pro. He's certainly probably going to be the first pick in the draft overall. I don't know what's going to happen. We'll find out.
I'm just saying, for a guy who has a lot of demands, he sure as hell is playing like a pile of shit.
He's not a good quarterback. We've discussed this. I've said this before. He's Kyler Williams or Kyler Murray, I'm sorry, 2.0 is exactly what he is.
Are we going to try this thing again, TJ?
One of the centerpieces of this investigation is a low-level Michigan staffer by the name of Connor Stallions. No relation to Boston Connor.
There might be, though.
That's what sources tell me anyway.
He is related because he served his country.
He did serve his country, so he is
Thank you for the service, Connor.
Yes. He is a former Marine. He was educated at the Naval Academy, and there was NCAA interest in his computer. And there was the process of procuring that is underway from what our sources said. So the difference now, you talked earlier about sign stealing, right? In high school, you tap your head for a blitz, tap your elbow for counter tray, whatever it is. That's all perfectly legal. And sideline to sideline, all that stuff, obviously perfectly legal. What has happened here and why this has risen to the level of the Big Ten acknowledging Michigan, one of its biggest brands, and the NCAA having an active investigation is it has transcended that. Opponent scouting is what it is. Now, in the NFL, for example, they send an assistant GM or a pro scout. You know, the Colts are playing the Panthers the next week. They send somebody to the press box with binoculars to do it. Perfectly legal. In college, illegal since 1994.
Oh.
And so what has happened is they have seen, yes, that is what they're alleging. That's correct.
Pete, hey, good crowd work.
Nice.
So
what has happened here is they are looking into an operation, essentially. And our sources said it was an elaborate operation of what Michigan had and how they did. Now, again, the electronic part of this is key, Pat. We don't know specifically whether signs were captured electronically. But if you are going to opponent scouting, I certainly think that's something the NCAA is going to be looking into. You're probably not just going with a notebook in a Fort Ticonderoga number 2 and like writing down elbow tap, head slap, etc.
Now let's.
So again, you know, they're in a spot to where they had acknowledged they think that the guy is a scapegoat. They think it's more elaborate. Let's see what happens. I'm interested to see how in depth they, have been, I guess, sign stealing and preparation of game plan that has been probably over the lines. I'll be interested to see what it actually results into. Is this something that they're blowing way out of proportion? They did that, in my opinion, with the hamburger scandal. I mean, think about it. Tennessee was handing players wads of $100 bills in McDonald's bags. And the scrutiny and the punishment was almost equivalent to Coach Harbaugh buying a guy a hamburger and fries. So I'll be interested to see what actually happens with it.
So in essence, they were scouting teams. That's the crime. They were scouting teams. I don't see anything wrong with it, honestly. You should be able to scout opponents. I don't care if it's a rule, if it's not a rule or whatever. Why shouldn't you be able to scout teams? Sounds like it's a stupid rule. I mean, why? Is it on the auspice? Oh, well, this isn't professional. This is amateur athletics. I don't know.
And it clearly is not amateur athletics.
You're not. It's absolutely not.
Oh, man. I do think, though, Caleb Williams is not the real freaking deal. He's not a great quarterback. He has always benefited from having, some of the best weapons around him. He plays in that very quarterback friendly system that Lincoln Riley has, where throw. And as long as you can air it out, you're playing against a miserable Pac-12. It can be successful.
What really good weapons has Caleb Williams had around him?
Hey, do you want me to pull up the list?
Yeah, name me kids who were drafted last year in the first round that he had as wide receivers that he was throwing the ball to. I don't even know if there was a USC wide receiver that was drafted in the first.
Well, Jordan Addison was, but he only played.
Okay,
he only played like 4 games before he went out with a knee injury.
I'm thinking they had other wide receivers that were drafted as well. No? Yeah, like again, you're asking. I'm not up enough on that team. I know he's had weapons, right? The first one that came out immediately was Jordan Addison. I know he's had weapons before in the past. He have weapons.
He played with Jordan Addison for 4 or 5 games. That's all because Jordan Addison had his ACL. He was done, and it was early in the season.
You're gonna make me pull that up.
I'm not saying they have tremendous talent. I'm not saying he's terrible. I just don't think I know he puts up big numbers, but I don't know. There's something about him I just don't like. I don't know what it is.
He's not a good quarterback. That's what you don't like about him.
Maybe that's it.
I wouldn't say he has the best talent around him, but he has been sucking the last couple of weeks.
He played 11 games, by the way, last year. Jordan Addison did with USC.
I don't think he played. Okay.
I'm looking at it right now. He played 11 games, had 875 receiving yards.
Okay. Was he playing hurt a lot of time? Did his catches go down?
He tore his ACL. That's what kept him out, I believe, right?
Maybe he tried to play through it. Who knows?
Oh, yeah, just please stop.
How the hell was he ready by training camp if he had an ACL injury that took him out?
Fuck, man. You're going to make me pull up what type of injury he had. The motherfucker, you see 11 games? He played 11 games, Grumpy. That's what G11 means.
Okay.
You could say I'm wrong all you want.
Well,
he played
look like anybody else is worth a damn on that team.
Oh, come on. He played the majority of the season.
I don't even know why.
So he had 1 wide receiver with Jordan Addison.
Oh, man, oh, man. He had wide receivers in the past. Mario Williams was a pretty decent wideout, right? He's still playing for him right now, right?
I don't know if he's there or not. Here's the thing. I just want to touch on this comment here from Drew. Cardinals are going to draft Caleb Williams, and they'll set their franchise back another 5 years. Also, Caleb Williams' record against good teams is 4-7. He's so bad. The fact is, his teams don't have any defense, and that's a Lincoln Riley issue. Okay. Now, just to get back to the Cardinals, the Chicago Bears have the first pick in the draft, which is from the Carolina Panthers. And they also, before going into today, had the second pick of the draft. I saw that kid play today. Their backup, a guy from Division II. To me, he looks better than Justin Fields. Would it not preclude them from trading Justin Fields, selecting a quarterback, trading the second first-round pick to load up for somebody else who wants Drake May or whatever they want to do? I mean, isn't that what Chicago should do?
Chicago should trade away Justin Fields. I 100% agree with you. He's not the answer there. If you can get anything of value in return from him, like some team thinks, oh, we could give up, we'll give a 3rd-round pick or a 2nd-round pick. I mean, what? Trey Lance was traded for a 3rd-round pick, right?
Fourth.
Well, maybe Justin Fields is worth a 3rd-round pick because the guy actually has played before. And maybe teams think that he's got some sort of offensive upside to him. I don't know. But if you can trade him for anything, I'd get rid of him. I think it's that simple.
But, I mean, wouldn't that be the smart move? Like I said, this kid looked pretty good today.
I just said yes. Yeah.
I mean, okay. But you said they would. I don't know if they will, but I think it's what they should do, not what we think they should do. Do you think that's something they will do? I guess is my question. Okay.
Yes, I think they've looked at it and said he's not footing the bill. He won't foot the bill. We're going to have the 1st overall pick in the draft, and we've got the pick of our druthers between Drake May, Caleb Williams. You have whoever you want to pick, you can pick. You should also have Quinn Ewers as well available if he determines to exit, because he played the COVID year and he's played 2 seasons, so that's 3 seasons he's been there in college. He's technically eligible to go for the draft.
Now, Luke May. Is it Luke May?
Drake May.
Drake May.
Luke May was his brother who played for Carolina's basketball team.
Drake May also lost to a shitty Virginia team last night. Certainly
home.
not a top 15 team in the
One,
country.
1-5 Virginia at home.
Yeah. I mean, now he looks the part for certain. I just think some guys look like quarterbacks and others don't. I guess maybe I'm one of those guys. I like the prototypical quarterback. I don't like some guys, 6'2", just, scrambling around out there. You're seeing it doesn't work, honestly. The RPOs have been sniffed out. That doesn't even work anymore, the RPOs.
It does for a very limited time period until they figure out everybody who runs an offense is slightly different. And when your quarterback does shit slightly different, it takes them a while to get things, figured out per se. But as soon as you get in the NFL, they figure that shit out pretty quick. That's why it's like, like I mentioned again, Jalen Hurts. Oh, Jalen Hurts having a bad year. Guess what? They figured out how to play him. Just like they figure out anybody like Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson has never been the same quarterback since his MVP trophy winning season. He just never has been the same guy. He's had weapons there. I don't want to hear, he doesn't have weapons. Well, he's banged up because he runs the football all the time. I mean, like, that's just what to expect. If you're going to say, I'm going to take a quarterback who maybe gets hit 5 times because he's getting sacked 5 times, or I'm going to take the quarterback who runs and is going to get hit 15 times a game, you're just the same thing with Josh Allen. Josh Allen, I think, has been very underwhelming this season. Simple.
I mean, think about it. If you think about it, you really don't see any true pocket passing quarterbacks anymore.
You're seeing the comeback of defense is what you're seeing.
Well, I wanted to talk about this. You talk about Virginia, how they won, right? They won against a top 10 road win victory. James Franklin, right? This was the big weekend for them. Every single year seems like, hey, they beat up on the shitty teams like Rutgers. They beat up on the bad teams like Northwestern. How are they going to play on the road against Ohio State? They get beaten again.
Okay, well, there's a difference. Ohio State literally makes the playoffs or is in the contention for the playoffs every single year.
He's been there for 12 and a half years. Think about this. This guy's been here for 12 and a half years and has not beaten a top 10 road team ever. 12 and a half years as head coach there. You're playing top 10 teams on the road every single season. You're playing your Michigans. You're playing your Ohio States. You're playing your Iowas. You're playing top 10 teams in the nation on the road every single season. They just don't win any of those games.
Again, those teams usually make the playoffs. I mean,
okay.
It's not like
Penn State's not a top 4 team in the country.
Exactly. It's not like they're playing Chapel Hill's number 10 or they're playing a team that's number 9 in the country. They're playing a team that's in the top 4 every year.
Do you remember the days where Penn State used to be a perennial powerhouse?
Would you say time ago?
When was the last time Penn State made the playoffs in college football? When was
back when Joe Paterno was there? What, back in the 90s?
No, Paterno's been dead for 10 years. What's he been
They
dead
haven't
for
made playoffs since it's existed, TJ. They've never made the playoffs.
He has been the coach for the entire time period of the college football playoff setup. He's been there for 12 and a half years.
Bill O'Brien was the coach. Not 12 and a half years. You're wrong.
It's been around for over 15 years, TJ.
Maybe they're including his time at his time at Vanderbilt, but he only coached. I got to pull up how long. Look, it says it right here.
Bill O'Brien was the coach there before him. That wasn't
12 and a half seasons as a head coach. Let me pull up how he maybe spent 3 years at Vanderbilt. I got to pull up how long he's been.
He was at Texas A&M, I think. I don't know where he was.
Not as a head coach. He was at Vanderbilt as a head coach. I'm telling you this.
Okay, Vanderbilt, the worst team in the SEC. Okay, that's fine.
I'll pull up how long he's been there as a head coach.
You have one of those hatreds for James Franklin that you
have. He has been the head coach for Vanderbilt since 2014. I don't know.
He was head coach of Vanderbilt in 2014.
I'm sorry, he's been head coach for Penn State since 2014. He was head coach there 3 years for Vanderbilt, and then he went to Penn State since 2014 until present day. He's been there 9 years.
Okay, I don't understand why. But they're like in the top 10 every year, aren't they? Penn State at the end of the year, top 10 team.
Some years yes, some years no.
Okay, but they're always in the top 25. They're a good college football program.
Okay.
Maybe they don't pay as well as the others.
2021 they didn't. 2020 they didn't finish as a top 25 teams. I don't know. Again, they have some years where they play well, some years where they don't. My thing is this: when did Penn State become a team where it's just like, oh well, we're just hoping we could be top 25 at the end of the season?
When they ran Joe Paterno out of town, that was the end of the program. That was the end of the program.
They started the college playoffs in 2014, so the college playoffs have been around for 10 years.
Okay, so he's been there every year. The college football playoffs have been around.
Yeah,
it wasn't like it was anything before him.
Look up how many times either Michigan or Ohio State have finished in the top 4.
It's always the same 4 teams.
Do you remember the same criticism I was giving Harbaugh last year for Michigan? I said they always come so close, but they can never beat Ohio State. And if you can't beat Ohio State,
Alabama,
you don't deserve to be the coach.
Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, Oklahoma, 2 of those 4 teams is Georgia. 2 of those 4 teams are in the playoffs every freaking year.
When did the expectations become so low for Penn State? That's my question. When
they have to face 2 teams that are in the top 4 every freaking season.
Ohio State makes it work. Michigan makes it work.
Ohio State's a fucking top 4 team.
They pay better. They pay better than Penn State does. So does Michigan. They pay better.
Ohio State has more history than Penn State does.
You think so little?
Alabama, Georgia, Clemson. Only 4 teams make it. How many years did Oklahoma make it?
You think
Penn
so
State
little?
might make it next year. Now they're opening up to 12 teams.
They're not. They thought they put that on hold. Did they not, Grumpy?
No, it's going to be starting next year.
Next year.
They might make it next year.
Okay, I thought they put that on hold, but maybe I'm wrong. Again, when does the expectation become so low for them?
When they have to face 2 teams that finish in the playoffs.
What was the record under Joe Paterno? There's a long time since they were the national champions in the 1980s. It's been a long time. They're a top 10, top 20 team every year. That's what they are. Even under Joe Paterno, they have up and down years. Penn State hasn't been a perennial powerhouse in 30 years. I don't understand. Your hatred of this guy is, once again, it's one of those things. When TJ hates a guy, that's it. He'll use whatever trick photography or manipulation of the stats to prove point because he doesn't like him. It's just that plain and simple.
You're just not right on this.
What was their record before James Franklin got there? What was their record?
9-4, 8-4, 7-5. Franklin got there 7-6, 7-6, 11-3, 11-2, 9-4, 11-2, 4-5, 7-6, 11-2, 6-1.
Pretty good record.
Are you happy just being a team that's like, hey, we're cruising around? Some years, our best years were 11-2.
Go further down and look. When was the last time they won 11 games that he wasn't the coach?
Paterno.
2009.
Paterno. Okay, you said, Paterno had some up years, some down years. Think about this. Consistently, Paterno, 11-1. 9-4, 9-4, 11-2.
We'll ignore the 4-7 though. Let's make sure we ignore that one from 20 years ago.
You can look at the 2 bad years. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, guess what? It happens. I don't think you can say that James Franklin is a bad coach. I'm sorry, you can't. Does he get the recruits that Ohio State and Michigan get? He does not. They're not as athletic as those teams. They're just not. They get great recruits.
You don't pay attention. They get great recruits. You don't pay attention to anything recruiting wise. They get good recruiting classes every single season. You're just wrong.
They don't get the recruits that Ohio State and Michigan get.
Ohio State literally is the #1 wide receiver in the country on their team.
I looked at Penn. I watched a little bit of that game yesterday. Penn State has nothing on offense.
It's almost like there's a guy who handles recruiting on that. Maybe your head coach. Here's the thing.
They don't pay as well as the other schools. That's it, period. They don't pay as well as Ohio State and Michigan. These 6-1. They're 6-1. You're still complaining. They're a good team.
Because they're going to lose to Michigan and they'll lose more games. Anytime they play tough teams, they fucking lose.
Oh, my God.
It's the same shit.
Road games.
Let me ask you this.
Road games. Not home games, road games. You've just picked out road games. What's his record against top 10 teams at home? Can you tell us that?
2 games every fucking year. Every damn year.
Can you tell me what the record is against top 10 teams in home games? Because I see you just pick the road stats because those fit your narrative. What's the record against home games? What is that?
11-3, 11-2, 9-4, 11-2, 4-5, 7-6, 11-2. He never beats Michigan or Ohio State. He never beats Michigan or Ohio State ever. ever. How the hell
So
can you
he's
keep
never
Johnny
beaten those
Boyd?
teams? I just
Jesus
don't
Christ!
understand.
Which year do you want me to pick? I guarantee you, he lost both times to Michigan and Ohio State. Which year do you want me to pick, Grump?
And they were both what, top 5 teams in the country? So he doesn't beat a top 5 team in the country.
Jesus, dude. The question is simple.
Oh.
Are you just happy and content saying,
I'm absolutely happy.
every year we play?
You finish in the top. You finish in the top 10, top 15 most every single year. Absolutely, I'm happy. Absolutely.
So if Oklahoma was saying, "Hey, we're finishing top 10, top 15 every single year," and that's
how
the
many
best
teams
we're
finish top 4
like,
every year?
We're pretty happy.
For how many years was it Alabama, Clemson, and Ohio State as 3 of the top 4 teams, and Oklahoma? Throw them in there too. Then Georgia joined the party, right? You're only talking about. It's not like there's a whole there's 4 new teams every year. It's the same teams year after year after year. The same exact teams.
Dude.
Alabama was in that championship series every single year until last year. Every single year.
We can pick whatever year you want. Let's look at 2022. Did they beat Michigan or Ohio State? Let's just take a random glance here, Grumpy. I'm going to tell you the answer to that is absolutely not. Schedule and results. It's like, are you just happy and content saying, oh, yeah, we just lose every year to them? I mean, like that, in my opinion. Oh, there's Ohio State. There's a loss. Oh, there's Michigan. There's a loss. Okay, let's continue. You could just go any fucking year you want. This guy never beats Michigan or Ohio State, and you're just happy saying, it's not a big deal. Screw. Well, there's
talking about 2 of the
Ohio
top 5
State.
teams in the country.
Okay, here's Illinois. They lose some other games in there too. But again,
okay, you're gonna pick. You go ahead. That's good. Pick the COVID years. Those work. Okay,
let's go to another year. 11-2. 11-2. 2019. Let's see what the record looked like that year too, right? Oh, there's lost to Minnesota, Ohio State. They beat Michigan. Wow, they beat Michigan. Woohoo! Again, it's just every fucking time they managed to lose. They never beaten Ohio State under this guy, and I think they beat Michigan once.
Okay, you don't know if they've ever beaten Ohio State. You don't know that. You just picked 3 years and they haven't. You don't know if he's never done it.
They didn't in 2020 either, the one you didn't care to look at because it was COVID year. I just absolved that one. Here's another loss to Michigan, and they lost to Ohio State. This is in 2018. We're just continue to go back and back. Here's another 11-2 year under James Franklin, 2017, right? Oh, there's another loss to Ohio State. They beat Michigan.
1 point. I know they lost by 1 point both times. Okay.
They keep losing to Ohio State.
They beat Michigan again.
Michigan probably wasn't even ranked.
Your hatred of this guy. Let's move on. You hate this guy. You're on the record as hating him. Yes, I take him as my coach in a second.
They beat Ohio State once. Back
Penn State.
in 2016.
Number 2 Penn State. Number 2 Penn State.
No, number 2 Ohio State.
Ohio State. I'm sorry. Number 2 Ohio State. So again, he's beaten teams, maybe not on the road, but he has at home.
Dude,
atmosphere has a lot to do with it in college football. Here's the thing. Your question is what I take him as coach in a second. They don't pay as well as Ohio State and Michigan. That they just don't. They
have good recruiting.
They beat everybody else, right? They don't pay as well.
To the top tier teams.
They don't pay as well. That's the bottom line. They don't pay as well.
Okay. Again, just to prove you wrong, because I guess that's what I've got to do.
How many times has Penn State been on probation? How many times has Ohio State been on probation or Michigan?
Number 8 recruiting class in 2022. You just keep saying that shit. You're just wrong. That's why I'm so confused. Oh, we had one. We're only 20th in 2021. The year after that, we were number 8. They have good recruiting classes. They're just not winning fucking games.
Where's Ohio State, Michigan? It's not where they are. Where's Ohio State, Michigan?
Jesus Christ.
They're top. They're top 5, top 10 every year. They recruit better.
I'm sorry.
They
I guess your expectations for them are so low. It's pathetic. I have higher expectations for them.
Double-digit wins most of the years. Okay, that's a failure to you? There's only one team that wins every year.
Yeah.
Usually it's Alabama, Clemson, or Georgia.
It'd be like saying you're happy.
When was the last time somebody out of Alabama, Clemson, or Georgia won the championship? How long ago was that?
You're talking about just making the college football playoffs.
You'd be happy saying Oklahoma.
You'd be happy saying that Oklahoma was never making a college football playoffs. You'd be happy as an Oklahoma fan. Your expectation for Oklahoma was higher than that.
Okay,
same thing with the Penn State fans. The expectation's higher than that.
You don't like Lincoln Riley, and here's the thing: you said, "Oh, he got into the playoffs, but they never win any. They never win any playoff games." That's
at least they're punching their tickets. At least they're punching their ticket.
Dude, that's what you do. You hate James Franklin, so whatever he does, you know what? Pittsburgh would kill to have a guy like James Franklin as their coach.
Pittsburgh had beaten them.
Kill.
They went 1-1
No, they
when
wouldn't.
they played
When
Penn
was the last
State.
time? First of all,
They
Pittsburgh
played them
we're not gonna
twice.
play
They
you
won one.
anymore.
They lost one.
We're not going to play you anymore. We give up because we're Schittsburg. Penn State owns us. We're
Here's the thing.
Penn State's bitch. That's
Let
what
me
it
ask you
says.
this. Let me ask you this, Grumpy. Would you be happy if Oklahoma every single season was not making the college football playoffs? Year after year, after decades without making a chance. Would you be happy as an Oklahoma fan? Would you be like, we
The
need
playoffs
more?
have only been
Like
around for 10
Texas.
years. The
Do
playoffs
you
have only
think-
been around for 10 years.
Do you think if University of
They've
Texas,
made it what 3 or 4 times?
if the University of Texas was finishing with 10 wins a
Texas has
season,
never made it.
I'm
the
giving
way.
you there's a
Never.
reason why Texas
Never.
had a lot of
Not good enough.
turnover. Guess what? There's a reason they've had a lot of turnover at the head coaching spot. Thank you so much for recognizing that.
Ugh,
I'm
I'm
saying
gonna say it's the fact that they can now pay players. That's why their team is good.
that's right.
that every team could pay players before.
But they can pay players more because they have more money from donors.
I guess we're just gonna have to agree to disagree on this one. Let's look at some comments there, X.
Yeah, thank God.
James Franklin's a great fucking coach, and you're a loser. Drew says, oh, we already read that one. That's what started this whole thing. Drew says, well, the LOL, the Dolphins, start off their drive with the delay of game.
Oh.
Joseph C says, TJ's Red Wings just keep rolling. Might be time for TJ to do a solo podcast just for his favorite hockey team.
Hey, Red Wings are starting off good. That Alex
Okay.
DeBrinket's playing pretty good hockey.
You know what? This is a line of bullshit I heard from TJ today. People don't believe in the Iser plan.
The Yiser playing, not
When was the
Iser.
last time they
Yiser
were
playing.
good? When was the last time they were good? Maybe
Well-
they should fire him because they don't even make the playoffs. You
Right.
have
You inherited a dumpster.
Look
Guess
at how
what?
good. Look at how good the Red Wings used to be back in like 2006.
He inherited a shit heap. He inherited a shit heap, and look at what he's done now.
nothing. They've never made the playoffs. He's been there how many
Get rid of
years?
him.
6 years. He can't even get him in the
5 years.
playoffs. He's
5 years.
He sucks. Terrible.
Guess what, Islander fans? Look forward to that. They traded away 3 consecutive first-round picks, and look at how long it took them to rebuild. I'm not saying we're going to trade our 5th consecutive first-round pick, but maybe we are this season. So look no further. And you see pain and suffering amongst fan bases, we may inherit that pain and suffering in a short time frame. Anyway, how am I ridiculous, Grumpy?
You're ridiculous. You're a clown.
No.
When you hate somebody, dude, you just freaking hate them.
You love James Franklin, Grump, and he's giving you no
All
reason.
I said was James Franklin is a damn good college coach. He just is.
Oh, please stop. Stop.
His
Grumpy.
record says so.
Fuck. All right, X.
Excluding the COVID year, he's never had a losing
The
record.
next comment up.
Nice comment there.
Drew
Grump.
says Duke would have beaten Florida State if Riley Leonard didn't get hurt.
It's their
Well,
starting
he did.
quarterback. Yes, they would have.
Well, here's the thing. They didn't. In Florida State, I don't think they're probably a team that deserves to make the college football playoffs. But if you go undefeated, you're going to make the college football playoffs.
Even
So
at a
they'll get
shitty conference like the ACC, which
They'll
is a
get
shit
spanked.
conference.
They'll get spanked. They'll get killed.
Absolutely. And you'll be happy with that, right? They get shit canned because they're just not good enough. Sorry.
I don't think they're good enough. I just said that.
Honestly, even if they were making in the top, if they were making with 12 teams, I still think they'd probably get eliminated in the first round as a number
They
4
suck.
seed.
Florida State sucks.
Or as a number 4 seed.
Drew says Kareem Jackson is the defensive back Vontez Burfict.
Yes. Did you see he's suspended for the 5th week in a row he's received an unnecessary roughness penalty. Have you guys seen that?
Today was the second time he's been tossed out of a game was today.
Yes, and this is his 5th game in a row for receiving an unnecessary roughness penalty here. I'll pull it up on screen so we can look at it here. Give me a second.
Wow, Miami's down 16-3.
What? 2 was not. Well, oh no, guys. Who would have ever thought that? Alrighty, this is the play right here. I'll mute it because you guys don't like the reverb. Give me a sec. Boom. Helmet to helmet by Jackson.
Shit.
Just like, how many more times is he going to be doing shit like that?
Yeah,
Gotta
you
be
gotta know.
smarter.
Until he runs out of money to pay for his fines.
The whole thing is, that's a penalty. You know it is.
When is he going to start receiving, like the NHL, they do that. The more and more you do that, the more and more they're just like, hey, you're going to get longer and longer suspensions. When are they going to start maybe, enforcing that on a guy like Jackson?
Not soon enough.
I mean, it's great for Jackson. He only plays half the season.
I mean, not when he's paying those fines and he's not getting paid because he's not playing games. So, he probably wants to hit his bonus incentive and everything like that too.
Unless he's like Deshaun Watson, where he gets guaranteed money to just sit on the bench.
You saw Deshaun Watson today exited again with that injury, that same exact shoulder injury. I wonder if he's going to be out with shoulder
concussion. It was concussion protocol.
Oh, concussion? Okay, gotcha.
He fell down. He did it to a
Oh, he played today?
Yes, he did.
Oh, I didn't even think he played today.
He played like a drive or so. Okay.
Oh. He tapped his head. That was it. He was done. Joseph C says USC doesn't handle teams that hit them in the mouth. Reminds me of Lincoln Riley's run at Oklahoma. Not that they get hit in the mouth. It's the fact that their defense isn't good enough. And it's I mean, he needs to put a different defensive coordinator or defensive recruiter in that spot there, because he has recruited for defensive players, but they're all those small guys. You need bigger guys. And here's the thing, you're going to play in the Big Ten. You better get some bigger players in there. That's a running conference for the most. You got to be able to run the ball, defend the run.
Remember when I told you that it's going to be disastrous for USC when they do that?
It won't be disastrous. It won't be disastrous.
Disastrous. Disastrous, grumpy old man. Goon grump.
This is a Sun X question. Go ahead, X. You can read this one.
Sun X, that is a pretty interesting blue/green lighting you have going on. Are you underwater? If so, what did you learn? If so, how did you learn how to breathe and speak so clearly while submerged? Yeah, so I just had these LED lights.
I hate those lights. They're so stupid.
Grumpy loves them, if you couldn't tell.
Only a moron. You know what? That's what
the light turned off.
That's what high school kids have in their rooms. Silly shit like that.
Damn, X.
Go up, X.
Grumpy, I think you need to get some neon, dude.
Not happening.
Damn, X.
Right. Fair enough.
Oh, man. Drew L said, speaking of the Eagles, Jalen Turnovers is back. Oh, gosh. Has it been a sloppy game?
Sloppy as hell.
Yeah, it's been pretty bad.
I was too looked.
Is it just me, or do you feel like the primetime games have just been really bad this year?
I think the NFL overall has been bad this year.
Agreed.
Yes. And the one thing that they're going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing until the freaking cows come. It's
Taylor Swift and Travis
Taylor Swift shit. Yes. It's like every time they score a touchdown, it's like, hey guys, guess who's in? Taylor Swift. And this is Taylor Swift and Brittany Mahomes celebrating together.
I tell you what,
we're so excited.
That trailer park girl, who's that? Who kid is that? Is she pregnant again?
No, that's her
my
kid.
gosh. Look at him dancing.
You see that tall fellow who's behind him there, Grumpy?
Who's that?
That's Jackson Mahomes, Grumpy.
Ugh,
Captain Sex Charge.
Captain Sex Charge.
He's probably you wonder why he was rubbing his hands together. He was thinking, "Ooh, Taylor Swift, prime suspect."
Just think about that trailer park trash, Brittany Mahomes. She's in her glory. This is the high. I mean, she's married to Patrick Mahomes. Taylor Swift is there, man. Back in the trailer park, they're like, "Man, Brittany, she's made it. She made it. She's in the big time."
TJ, I don't know if you saw. Also, apparently, Brittany Mahomes and Taylor Swift now have a handshake.
Oh my god! I didn't want to put it up. I didn't want to put it up.
I sent that to you. I sent that to you.
You want me to show that to you, Grumpy?
Yes, absolutely. You can.
You know what? I think our viewers want to lose their dinner tonight, so you should play that, TJ.
You can skip Travis Kelce scoring a touchdown, but they had a little celebration, like a little dance and a little chest bump, which I know our viewers are going to like.
This is better than Biggest Loser. This is the new weight loss program. You're just going to purge your food after you watch this.
Oh,
Jesus Christ! It's bad. It's like, you know what? I'm just sick and tired of the freaking infatuation with this. I'm ready for them to start losing game. Look at this. They start off with the little tongues out. Look at this. Oh, little hip.
Look at Brittany. Where's the chest bump? Hold on. There's a chest bump too. There's one I sent you that has a chest bump. They do ba-boom like that.
How do they go, Grumpy?
Ba-boom like that.
I'm trying to see here. That's not the one that's popping up. It's all this little hip thing where they hit each other's butts.
The one that I sent you with Travis Kelce scoring a touchdown has it at the end. I just told you where it is. Jeez, I told you what it is. I told you where it is. You just ignore it.
You might have to call the podcast after watching that.
He's tyrannical. Oh, I think a lot of people who watch our podcast want to see two women do a chest bump.
I think they really don't. because it's disgusting.
Okay, we've done enough. Grumpy, I'm not seeing it anywhere. And here's the thing: if I went through and went to dig this up, it won't actually.
Don't
be
know where it is. I
besides
sent it to you, and it shows Travis Kelce scores touchdown. They do a celebration. It's at the end, right at the end of that thing. You can skip Kelce scored a touchdown to replays. Just watch their celebration. They do that, and then they go boop, boop, boop.
X, put up another comment, please, as I pull this up. I swear to God, Grumpy, if this is not correct, because the same exact fucking freeze frame is
correct.
each other's
It is
ass.
correct.
If they don't freaking chest bump Grumpy, I'm gonna. Oh man, I swear, Grumpy. Grumpy.
Tony Cheese says, "Did we already touch on the fact that my garbage fantasy team is beating Grumpy right now?"
No!
He had Deontay Foreman put up 33 points. Patrick Mahomes put up 37 points, and somebody else.
Excuses. That's all I hear.
I got rolled today. No problem. Never mind. I just noticed the podcast started 10 minutes ago. Thought I missed 40 minutes. Well, no, that's if you're going by 8 o'clock TJ time, which is 8:30.
Oh man, pull up the next one there, X.
Goon, go ahead, TJ. This one's for you.
I'm trying to get you a freaking shitty.
I know it's long. That's okay. I'll do it.
Nonsense. Hold up right now, Grumpy. Okay.
I realize 3 lines of words is a struggle for you. I will handle it for you.
I'll
TJ,
read this. So we're not showing your shitty celebration nonsense. That's
TJ,
the deal we
what
can
did
do,
you
right?
enjoy playing more, football or hockey? Son X, what did you enjoy playing more, baseball or hockey? Grumpy, what did you enjoy playing more, Twister or tic-tac-toe?
I enjoyed hockey more. Hockey, at least you weren't beating the shit out of your body.
I like baseball more.
I like tic-tac-toe.
It is such a shitty highlight, Grumpy. I'm not even bothering showing it. Are you kidding me? It's a 15-second ad we have to watch. Then it's 40 seconds of other things for like 2 seconds of a chest bump. Come on.
Don't give them the views. Don't give the NFL the views.
It's ESPN. He sends me everything through ESPN. ESPN takes up so much of the bandwidth on my computer. It just
don't give them the views.
The tyrant says no. Doesn't matter, fans. You want to watch that? Tough shit. TJ just says no. I'm not giving you what you want. That's fine.
The fans want to hold down their dinner tonight, so we're gonna pass.
James F says, "What a great weekend. Penn State lost, the Islanders lost, and the Raiders got their butt kicked." Wow. Okay.
Well, the Rangers actually won, so didn't they?
Raiders.
I'm sorry, Raiders. Yeah, man. Think about that. The Raiders lost. Who did they lose to? Was it the Bears?
The Bears.
Yikes, man. Yikes.
The funniest thing was
it was a battle of the backups today.
The funniest thing was Devontae Adams, all his complaining during the week, how he needs to get the ball more because it's not about wins and losses don't really mean as much to him. It's about him looking good and him being his excellence and showing how great he is. He dropped a touchdown pass wide open in the end zone today. Wide open. Terrible. James F says, I like the Eagles uniforms tonight. Those are absolutely throwbacks from the olden days.
Those are the Kelly Greens.
Yep.
What do you think about the Kelly Greens, Grumpy? I like the Kelly Greens too.
I like them too.
I think they're sharp.
This ad, because it buffers so long, is taking forever to load. Jesus. I hope this pay off, Grumpy. If you don't talk about this for 20 minutes, I swear, Grumpy, that
Joseph C says the NCAA has nothing to do now that teams can pay players to play for them. Here's the thing. They've always been doing that. It's always been restraint of trade. Just the NCAA wanted that money for themselves. The greedy pigs that they are wanted that money for themselves. They found out they couldn't handle it in court because they knew they'd lose. So they're like, okay, do it. That's what it is. And now they want governmental interference. Help us. We're fucking losers. I hate the NCAA.
Jesus Christ.
JP says, gentlemen, good evening. I'm so happy NHL hockey is back. I think everyone is.
Yeah,
well,
Tuesday they have a bunch of matchups. I'm pretty sure too. It's like Tuesday night hockey night or something like that.
I don't know.
It's Tuesday.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Here
we go. You know, you could have played that other. Okay, we'll show this touchdown. Just move it forward. There we go. Boop. Little hip bump, a little spin, little high five. Boop, boop. There you go. Yeah. Woo. That was good stuff right there.
The UC, that took us how long that took us to see that one little.
Hold on. TJ, you mean if you were in that box with Taylor Swift or Brittany Mahomes or both, and they wanted to say, let's do a little chest bump, you wouldn't do it?
First off, I'd be like, I hope Travis Kelce gets injured. That's what I would say. I hope he gets hurt.
I like
hope
this
Patrick
comment by
Mahomes
Tony
gets hurt.
Cheese. I like this comment by Tony Cheese right here.
TJ is the Mussolini of podcasting.
I do what I can.
Google says it's a foregone conclusion that the Jets season will come down to the final game versus the Patriots in New England, who they haven't beaten since Abraham Lincoln was still in the White House, right? I don't know if it lasts that long. It's a long season, long way to go.
Yeah. That would be, though, typical Jets. It gets down there. Rodgers comes back, but they lose on like a last-second field goal. That would be Jets-esque.
Rodgers comes back and he blows out the other Achilles.
God almighty. Oh, jeez. Oh, man.
James says, sorry, Grumpy. Sean McDermott is not the stupidest coach. It's Josh McDaniels, the coach who put a backup who hasn't won since 2016. Instead, all Raiders fans want O'Connell. I've seen enough of O'Connell. O'Connell sucks. He's got a funky throwing style. He blows. He sucks. Aiden O'Connell sucks and blows and swallows. He's done.
Oh.
Brian Hoyer's a better quarterback than Aiden O'Donnell.
Now, we're getting a few, and I'll let you read this comment. I've got a few of these memes that Drew had sent us. We'll get caught up on, too.
Gungu says, what item do you enjoy the most from Trader Joe's? I don't go to Trader Joe's. So we can just delete this comment right away.
Oh, no. I like their ice cream sandwiches. Those shits slap.
Those shits slap? What the hell is
What
that?
does that mean? What do you think that means, Grumpy?
Yeah, what do you think that
Like
sounds like something stupid.
What do you think that means?
That
What does
shit
it mean to you,
slap?
Grumpy?
That shit slap?
That
Sounds
shit
dumb.
slaps.
You know what it sounds like? It sounds like a moron talking is what it sounds like to me. That shit slap. What the hell is that even
slaps
mean?
plural, Grumpy. Slaps plural, not
How about
slap.
I come over to your house and slap you in the face right now?
Oh,
That
Grumpy's
shit
so old.
slaps.
Look at you.
He's so old. Grumpy.
This
Next.
is no. We got some now.
TJ,
Drew,
what's your favorite food from Trader Joe's?
Everything. Aisle 7.
Bijan Robinson got hurt. Did he not today?
He did.
He was sick.
Oh, yeah, he was sick. That's right. That's right.
He was sick.
Illness.
Yeah.
He had an illness. That's
the
what they're
fuck?
saying. He had an illness.
Oof. Well, you think he's too hammered, too hungover to play? Because he played a few snaps today.
Yeah, he was sick. He
You know
was
what's
ill.
funny? As it took you forever to find that video, they just played that Taylor Swift, Brittany Mahomes chest bump video on the game
There you go.
right now.
It's your incompetence as a host, which cost the time.
Josh Jacobs on Miles Sanders fantasy owners right now. Our expectations for you were low, but holy fuck. Yeah. Josh Jacobs not off to a good start. He did sign that big contract though, didn't he?
Yeah, he sure did.
Hey, it's a shock though. A guy has a career year in a contract season. And then he starts to worry, and then he starts to go down. What Commanders fans think of Jahan Dotson after today? I'm sure this is not going to be nice here from Stephen A. Crap! If it lets me hit the play.
This man was a bona fide scrub. He can't play. No disrespect whatsoever, but I'm sorry to tell everybody the truth. The man cannot play the game of basketball. He has small hands. He can't catch the ball. He's got bad feet. He can't really move, even though he's mobile. Doesn't really.
Jahan Dotson. I mean, like the Commanders, right? Do you remember how many? Sam Howell is so great. Remember how many of those we were hearing? I notice we're not hearing too many of those anymore.
Yeah.
And
Well, that'd be great.
Frank Reich after week 5.
It's time to bench this motherfucker Miles Sanders. I'm so sick of this motherfucking bitch dancing and bobbing and weaving and shit. You know what I mean? Trying to be on some Barry Sanders for Sean McCoy motherfucking shit. And this motherfucker fumble. How the fuck do you fumble twice in 4 fucking plays, my nigga? Twice in 4 fucking plays.
EDP.
But it's okay, because Doug Peterson wants to keep this motherfucker in the game, wants to keep sucking his fucking dick, and wants to totally avoid.
All right, we'll be done for that one right now. Oh, man. Okay.
Do you even listen to these things before you put them on?
No.
Because you blame me for things, and you put this stuff on, and somehow I'm the bad guy.
No, you're not the bad guy for that. What do you mean? I don't blame you for anything like that when I put something up on screen. What are you talking about?
I was verbally berated on Thursday.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Can I get a replay of that?
Yeah, I'll tell you what happened.
Let's hear it.
No, we don't want to have to immediately. We don't have to immediately go
Grumpy,
ahead.
do you mind telling me what you said to make TJ get
I
so
questioned.
angry?
I questioned the health of someone, and I got attacked for it.
Yes. Okay.
sounds
Well,
like
we'll
Grumpy's
leave it.
trying to
We'll
be
leave it at
service.
that. We're gonna leave it at that. Meatball Parm says, "Good evening. What's up, Meatball Parm? Good goon, Grumpy."
Son X, TJ, and Grumpy both claimed last night that you have no trouble sleeping after a tough Islanders loss. How about you? Do you sleep like a stone or just want to be left alone?
I slept pretty well last night. I'm not gonna lie.
Doesn't matter that the Islanders win or lose, has no bearing on your sleep patterns.
Nope.
Good for you,
Yeah.
X.
Oh,
I
man.
don't let it affect me.
Here you go.
Some
Kalina.
people tell you that TJ sleeps better after an Islanders loss.
It's not Kalina, it's Kaylina,
Who's Kaylina?
the goalkeeper for Charlotte FC.
Kalina Stud says, lovely week of college football. Auburn's pass game became being anemic against everybody but Georgia. TJ being wrong about multiple college teams and quarterbacks, USC and Clemson, both taking L's, and FSU staking their claim.
I don't think I was wrong about any teams. Not at all. Wrong. I was right on multiple quarterbacks.
Next,
Not
if
wrong
you
on
hear
any
this,
team.
that just means next
Well, I
comment.
guess what I was seeing Tua, who's almost starting from my fantasy team, just threw a nice touchdown pass to Tyreek Hill.
Kalina Stud once again says, did we find out how much Sark and Texas paid the referees in the Houston game? Need to show people a replay of Houston's third down run at the end of the game to display how pathetic the spot of the ball was.
Yeah, the refs all over the board were hideous. I mean, they're college
I guess
officials.
you could argue the same thing in the NFL with Kansas City. I mean, we've had back-to-back weeks where officiating's
What
been
about-
absolutely atrocious.
What about Indianapolis today, though? How they got robbed. I mean, freaking robbed in that
Yes.
game.
Yes, against the Browns. Absolutely. And now, like you talk about, Pittsburgh was robbed by the officials. They slid. They said the slide was in the right spot. Long story short, who the hell knows? I didn't think Texas got the first down. They gave it to them. I thought Pittsburgh did get the first down. They didn't give it to them. But the officials just are hideous across the board in college sports. So I mean, that's really all you could say about it. Now, you were talking, grumpy old man. There were back-to-back, I mean, shitty calls against the Indianapolis Colts. And we'll go ahead and put these up here on screen. Now, these are called defensive pass interference, and I'll let you be the judge and the thing. I'll take away the sound because I don't want the reverb. So to set it right here, Indianapolis is up 38, to 33 with 38 seconds remaining. They'd come back too. They were down for a period of time against the Browns. And this is what was called defensive pass interference. Now, does he make a little contact? Oh, that was called, I'm sorry, that was called illegal contact right there.
And here's the thing. That's after he had fumbled the ball and Indianapolis had recovered it at the 40-yard line. That is terrible. That is terrible. That's a terrible call.
Okay, so terrible call number one. I'll let you look here at terrible call number two, because this is one that was, I'd say, almost as egregious, if not worse.
Where he hit the lady in roast 15.
This was defensive pass interference, but it was clearly uncatchable, right?
I mean, he threw it out of bounds. He was just trying to throw it away, is all he tried to do. Look
And they
how
gave him
far he threw
defensive
that out
pass
of bounds.
interference for that.
That ball is 10 yards out of bounds when it lands. 10 yards.
Oof. I'll be honest. If you're a fan of the Colts, I'm a little pissed off at that was called defensive pass interference.
No one is catching that ball ever. Ever.
Shit. And he was holding on to him, but it was just so uncatchable. It's not like it was holding before the pass was thrown or anything like that, right?
He just threw it away. There was two guys over there. He was just throwing the ball away.
They did anything they could, I think, to allow them to go ahead and pull this victory off. So it was bad. It was bad across the board. Yeah, go ahead. What other comments do we have, X, to make sure we're up to date on those?
Kyler Williams, yeah. Next.
They're the same.
Gugun says, blokes, how would you rank all the head coaches in the AFC East? McDaniel is clearly number one at this point after today's Bills poop in the pants performance, correct?
Let's talk about that, because we didn't really get a chance to talk about Sean McDermott there losing the game for him. But Grumpy, I know you wanted to talk about this earlier. You said you didn't want to get pissed off too much too early.
Okay. Buffalo was down 22-10. And Buffalo's better than New England, right? Come on.
Yes. New England's one of the worst teams in the NFL.
And Buffalo's banged up, a lot of injuries coming back from, a miserable night against the Giants. They're banged up. They come back, they score a touchdown, it's 22-17. Mac Jones fumbles the ball, they get it right back, and they're going to score. Here's the play. It was a first down completion, which gave them the ball at the 1 yard line. And there was a penalty. So they started with the ball like at the 4. They threw the ball to the 1, but there's a penalty. There's now like a minute and 20 seconds in the game. Maybe not a minute 20. No, actually it was 2 minutes or something like that. But they wound up they throw the ball to complete, and there's a holding penalty, which means that they could have had it first and goal from the 2 as opposed to second and goal from the 1. What should the coach have done as the clock is running down and New England had I think 1 timeout left? What should Buffalo have done? What should Sean McDermott have done?
I tell you, say that again, Grumpy. You went on for so fucking long. I'm trying to pull up here a clip.
You completed a pass.
Accept the penalty so they can run out the clock more. They get a fresh set of downs.
Instead, he takes it and it's like, well, I'm going to take second down from the 1 as opposed to first down and goal from the 2. In essence, is what it was. And I'm like, and I said, because I had X on the phone, I said, why is he not taking that penalty? This is the end of the game. This is the end.
Yes.
That's not what I'm talking about.
I know.
Sean McDermott, and we'll get to that as well. Sean McDermott says, I'm going to make it second down and 2 instead of saying, you know what, let's go first down and run some clock here. So what happens? Just like in the Kansas City game, when he had 13 seconds left and lets Mahomes drive the ball down with 13 seconds left to go in the freaking game, he plays passive layback defense and lets Mac Jones, who did virtually nothing all day, just drive the ball right down the field, lead to a touchdown before they start tightening it up. That's why they lost. They lost because, again, the coach loses games and the players win them. Coach McDermott lost the game for them today in Buffalo.
Another thing, though, if you're giving up 30-plus points to New England, your team ain't winning many games.
I did want to show you this. New England tried to, I feel like, give the game away late.
They did.
Second.
I mean, look at this right here. Fumbles the ball away. And you have the ball going on from the 30 with 4 minutes and 54 seconds left, and you find a way to lose this game. Defense couldn't come up when you needed to. I don't know. It really has me questioning the Buffalo Bills.
It's the coach. It's absolutely the coach. Coach needs to go. Can't win big games. Coach got to go.
Well, it's like, you look at it too and you think to yourself, holy shit, the Chargers find ways to lose games. How is Staley going to be employed at the end of the season when they don't make the postseason, right? Because it's safe to assume they're not making the postseason this year, right?
Yeah, I can't see it. 2-4.
Bad team, shitty coach.
Talented team, poor coaching. Kalina Stud says, good to see Pat McAfee on the show. Always good to watch. He sucks.
You love Pat McAfee, Grumpy.
I hate him. Kalina Stud once again adds, TJ can't blame Phil Jerkovic for Pitt taking the L in Winston-Salem last night to an awful Wake team. Weather was clear and sunny too, so no excuses there to be had. They
Wake
probably need a coach.
Record.
Their problem is they need a coach like James Franklin if they want to win games.
Wake has a better record than the University of Pittsburgh. And again, it was a
Berkeley
very
has
questionable slide call that gave the first down in the defense. Just like all the teams this week, where it's like we didn't give up any yards on offense. We give up huge chunks of yards at the end of the game to lose. So just is what it is. Yeah, Jerkovic is a hideous quarterback. It's why he changed positions. So tells you all you need to know.
They need a coach like James Franklin get them wins. Dugan says, Son X, a while back I asked TJ and Grumpy if they had a coworker with poor hygiene and stunk. Would you tell the sad sack? TJ said he would. Grumpy said he wouldn't, but may leave a note. You? I don't even remember that question.
I mean, if they were really stinking, Yeah, it'd probably be like, yo, you smell like shit. But I mean, if it wasn't too bad, I'd be like, probably something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, clothespin on your nose. Oh, sorry. Why are you wearing a clothespin? Man, there's a smell around here. I don't know what that.
Yeah,
is.
or I would like give him air fresheners or something.
You're like, man, you smell
like they did in the movie Seven, where they just had all those air fresheners in there for the guy. Remember that one, X?
Yeah, I would put one around the person's neck and say it's a new style or trend. I don't know.
Merry Christmas from all of us.
Yep.
Now, I will say this. We remember, right? Denver Broncos are a team that has struggled mightily this season. They did find a way to win this game, but I want to ask you, when you saw this play, did you think, holy shit, this just has typical Broncos loss written all over it? Look at this. Boop, boop. Bounces off the hands of a wide receiver and finds a way right into Reed's hands for a touchdown. I was like, this is typical Broncos loss written all over it. Fuck.
Pretty lucky. Pretty lucky.
I tell you. Sometime, and again, the Packers still lost. And I think, honestly, the Packers after this season are going to be another team that's in the running and looking for another quarterback. Because they've been hideous this year. And
it's his first year playing.
Jordan Love's he was drafted 3 years ago.
But it's his first year playing. He was playing behind Rodgers. He never played before.
You should be ready to go. It's like saying Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson was drafted, I believe, in the same draft class. You know if Zach Wilson's the answer or not. You know if Jordan Love's the answer or not.
Jordan Love was not drafted in the same draft class.
How long ago? Was he drafted before Zach Wilson?
I think he was drafted a year before. But here's the thing. Jordan Love,
4 years.
Jordan Love has never played before. This is the first time he's playing.
He's played
3 weeks ago. People thought he was a freaking Hall of Famer.
Who the hell was saying that dumb shit?
People are saying that shit. He looked great. Looked really good the first couple of weeks. It's a tough league.
He was drafted in 2020, Grumpy. Okay. So I guess he didn't play any game. Oh, yeah, I guess he didn't play any games.
Never played before this year.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You know if the guy's the answer or not. He's putting together shitty performance after shitty performance. I don't know what else there is to say about it. He's not the answer at quarterback. Dude, the NFL is such a bottom line business. You need to be able to make personnel decisions. You need to be able to determine, hey, is this guy going to be the quarterback for us or not? You've had 4 years with him. He's been practicing as part of the team for 3 years. Now you're seeing him out there in the game field. What we're seeing is not impressive. You've been watching him practice for 4 fucking years. You know damn well if that guy's the answer or not. He's not the answer. I can tell you by watching him on 6 or 7 different Sundays. He is not the answer. You got to get rid of him.
He hasn't even played 7 Sundays yet.
He's played years before in the past. You're wrong. He started too at time periods. He started his 2nd year in the league. He played a game when Rodgers was out. But it's like, you know if this guy's the answer or not. This is his 6th game. He played 6 games this year. You know if he's the answer or not. He's not the answer.
Oh, my God. He started 1 game when Rodgers was hurt. Didn't play it all his 2nd year. Okay. All right. He comes in off the bench when the game is over. You don't know anything about a quarterback till the bullets are really flying. This is this year. Okay. It's real. You're giving up on a kid. This is the first time he's playing. Really? You're giving up on him already? He's played, honestly, 5 games in the league, and you're giving up on him already.
6 games. Today was his 6th.
You don't like him. You don't like him.
I don't like him. You don't like him.
God.
Sorry, you suck. Gone.
Here's the thing.
Pickett fucking blows. I bet you Pittsburgh needs a new quarterback because that piece of shit can't complete it.
They would be better with a better quarterback. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
He's not a quarterback that's going to win you a Super Bowl. Newsflash, Kenny Pickett's not winning you a Super Bowl. Newsflash, Jordan Love's not winning you a Super Bowl. Jordan Love is a worse quarterback than Kenny Pickett, though.
I don't think so.
Look at the numbers.
Better weapons. He's got better weapons, I'll say that.
He's also got bigger hands.
Bigger hands, way bigger hands.
Sure he does. Yeah. Let's look at some more comments there, X.
Kalina Stud says, is it Kalina? Kalina Stud says, TJ, Penn State beat Ohio State in 2016. Your cute stat just includes road games. Penn State beat Michigan in 2017, 2019, 2020. Do some better research.
Damn.
I'm going to ask you this.
Thank you, Kalina.
it doesn't invalidate my point. And my point is very clear.
Fuck.
Let me ask you this, Kalina Stud. If Auburn was losing to Alabama, Carolina Stud, if Auburn was losing to Alabama every single year, will you be saying, hey, well, we just don't beat Alabama? That's okay. We just don't beat them. I'm going to keep the same coach there for 10 or 15 years if we never beat that team. No, you're like, Jesus, we have hit a plateau with what this coach can do. We're looking to take steps forward.
How many
The goal is
years?
not to say I want to be a top 25 team. That's not the goal.
How many years did Kirby Smart lose to Alabama every freaking year? And by your logic, they should have dumped his ass. He lost how many times to Alabama year after year after year after year? And then he finally gets over the hump, and now he beats them all the time. It takes time.
Hold on. He's only okay. Think about this. He's only been a coach there since 2016. So less time than James Franklin, more results. You see what I mean? You see what I mean?
How many times did he beat Alabama? How long did it take from the beat Alabama?
That's 2021. So 5 years.
5 years. He lost every other year before and playing him multiple times. He lost to them because guess what? With your logic, they should have just jettisoned his ass.
8-5.
And what's the reason why? He finally bought better players. That's why.
Hey, guess what, though? It didn't take him 9.5 years and no results.
Penn State doesn't buy good enough players. They don't have the money.
Okay. Gotcha. They all, with the transfer portal now, have the ability to get anybody sloppy seconds they want and get the best teams they can. Okay? Guess what? They have seen
the
it.
Kings of the freaking Peach Bowl.
They
weren't good enough to beat Alabama in a championship.
Hey, they were finishing top 4.
Bye-bye.
Single year.
Alabama.
Hey, Auburn, I'm sure, is happy. Just barely being able to maybe be a bowl eligible team. That's pretty cute, though. I like that. That's cute for the Auburn Tigers. Greg Prado, grumpy old man. Yo, I'm back. Grumpy, can I come back on as a guest on the Islanders Never Say Die podcast next month?
No.
Joseph C. Grumpy. He says,
TJ finding fault in a guy who wins 10 games a season on average and finishes in the top 10, top 15 almost every year. Yeah, exactly.
The expectations are high for a team like that. At least for me, they are.
Drew says, Philly forcing Tua to throw. Jalen Carter and Hassan Reddick have been stopping Miami's run game all night.
Now, what's the score of that game?
It is 17-10, I want to say. Something like that.
Drew says, hot take, the Carolina Panthers will not lose today or tomorrow either. They're not going to lose this week.
Yep.
Some would argue maybe they're on bye.
Yep.
Gotta look. What else we have?
Guru says, TJ, since you've been brushing up on your Yiddish in your free time lately, let's see if you've improved pronouncing the following words. Go ahead, DJ. Jump at him.
Shlemiel. Chuchpa.
I knew he'd miss that one. What's the last one?
What was it? Tukis?
Chachki.
And
number 2 was chutzpah.
Chuchpa.
So you got Shlemiel right. You got Shlemiel right only because you failed on it so many times before.
I don't speak Yiddish, believe it or not.
You don't even speak English.
Hey, here's the thing. You don't speak English either. Nobody has a full mastery of the English language. Now, this is something you wanted to look at, Grumpy. You wanted to look at this. DJ Humphries was suspended for hitting the official during this exchange. And we'll get your take on it.
Don't do it.
They both hit him.
No.
And DJ Humphries was the guy. Yes, they did. They both hit him. They both made contact with him. Please stop.
Humphries took a swipe.
What the hell is the official doing standing in between them? Just let them pummel each other out there on the field.
Oh, there we go.
Oh man, but he was suspended. He was ejected for that.
You're out of here.
I don't know. Call me crazy. That's an odd one. You could definitely see both of their hands are hugging this official's face right now. Oh, good gracious. So anyway, Tony Cheese says here, you guys think Alex is watching the game with a remote controlled plug-in? Every time Tua completes a pass, he presses a button. No, he's not doing that, Tony Cheese. No, play nice, Tony Cheese. Drew L says here, you know what, TJ? You kind of look like Arthur Smith tonight.
Another dope.
Arthur Smith. Ugh. Gungun says, Son X, TJ once admitted that when it comes to dental hygiene, he's not a flosser. Do you want to explain to him the dangers of going through life flossless?
Yeah, you get cavities.
There you go.
You speaking for personal experience there, X?
Yeah, I'm
Short
speaking
and
from
sweet
personal experience. Shit hurts.
Now
Especially when Novocaine doesn't work.
Oh, I want to show you this here. Now, we talked about fan fights before. I saw something in the stands here at the game that was odd. I'd never seen anything like this before. X, do you know who this guy, Blueface Baby, is?
Yes, yes.
Who is this? Tell us who this is. Let me and Grumpy know.
That's his baby. I think that's his baby mama. They're no longer together. But yeah, that's Blueface.
The one with the big boobs and the fake hair?
Yes, I think it's the same one. I don't know. I can't tell.
If she's not the looker, that's for certain.
What's her name?
But this guy,
Rachel Renderat?
Blueface Baby, what type of songs does he sing, X?
Rap music.
What rap songs? Anything that's a household song that we would know?
Why is this even on here? Why is this even being
Baby?
played?
Yeah. I don't know what the rest is. That's the only thing I know of him.
Okay. The reason why it's on here, Grumpy, because I want to get your opinions, you and X. So, Grumpy, I'm going to have to ask you though to watch this, but just try not to let your initial reaction just flow through there and to disturb the video. X. Now, Grumpy, maybe
dog collar he's got on his neck. What is
I was
that?
about to say the same thing. It's what it looks like.
No, I'll let you watch it. I want your opinions. This is during the middle of a game.
What?
This is during the middle of a game at the the Los Angeles Rams game.
Singles.
What the hell is he doing? And I'm like, I could not imagine Roger Goodell being too thrilled about this. I mean, like,
you know what? This is not the first time this happened. This actually happened one time at a Florida Panthers game.
Yes,
I don't know who it was getting somebody. One of these rappers was getting grinded on by another girl.
Yes, we showed that up. I don't remember which one it is, but he was going ahead. He was having sex in the at the Florida game, and people were videotaping him. That's what it was like. I remember that made news, public news. I'm wondering if this is going to make public news there because it's like, again,
I was
it's
wondering why he's wearing surgical gloves while he's throwing his money. Maybe he can get a better grip.
I don't know, but Grumpy, what are your thoughts on this?
He should never be allowed in a stadium again.
No, why do you
He's
say
doing
that?
shit on the sidelines too.
He should never be allowed in a stadium again.
No, come on, Grumpy.
Yes. Go to a strip club. You want to do that shit. Not, you know what? Here's the thing. There are families at these games. Let's explain to our 10-year-old daughter what those women are doing. And who's that asshole with the dog collar?
That's Blue Baby Face, Grumpy.
Blueface Baby.
Blueface Baby, I'm sorry. That's Blueface Baby, Grumpy.
Oh my God. It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. It's pathetic.
I've never seen anything like that before at a game. And I was like,
Pathetic.
we talk about a whole bunch of firsts. That's definitely a first. I'd never seen anything like that.
What do you mean? They just brought the strip club to the field.
Like that? Electrocute them.
No, Grumpy.
The players don't have to travel now after the game.
We talk about the gambling in sports.
Ooh, an X, I like that. Players don't have to travel after the game.
Right,
I'd never seen anything like that. I'm wondering if that's going to be a trend. Those LA games,
Live sex acts in between. That's next, right? How close are we to that? Guy getting a blowjob on the field. That's close in the stands. Very close. What's the difference? Lap dances for everybody in section.
You know what? Deshaun Watson's going to want to request his suspension to be removed. Then
he's going to want to request a trade to the Rams. He wants to be the new Rams QB.
Yep.
Oh,
he wants to go on concussion protocol so he can party with Blueface Baby in the stands.
I like the name. I like the name Blueface Baby.
Blueface Baby.
Oh, good. Grumpy looks like such a grumpy old man. Drew L says here. Also, how about those Packers? They're so good that they lost to the Broncos. Okay, but Jordan Love is the answer. Don't worry. Grumpy said we can't accurately say if he's the answer or not 6 games in. Drew L, grumpy old man.
I was going to say, Grumpy, I think the RPO style of play is dead. It is. I think we're going to see a more modern version of the smash mouth football play style. Detroit does that despite Detroit getting killed today. I tell you what, Baltimore is a good team.
Harbaugh just kills their ability to win games, though, right?
He does some dumb things too, but he didn't have against. They got a big lead early, so he couldn't do anything stupid to cost them the game.
That's
Joseph
a good
C.
thing.
says. Joseph C. says James Franklin is a good coach for all the crap he gets. Penn State fans need to be realistic. They're not competing with Michigan or Ohio State year to year. That's right. They're just not.
Maybe that should be the goal.
They don't pay as well as those two teams.
You're wrong. You're just wrong on that.
Okay, right. Those are football factories.
Penn State's a fucking football factory.
No, they're not.
Please
No,
stop.
they're not. No, they're not.
Oh, stop.
Gungun says, Burley Blokes, if you had a choice for Islanders GM being either Louis Lamarino or Phil's Facts, who would you choose and why? It wouldn't be Phil. Phil, shit.
I would say Phil just because we've got direct connection to Phil. So we can shit on Phil all the time, and we can go ahead and be overly critical. And we could go ahead and give Phil late night calls and say, Phil, what the F are you doing? With Lou Lamoriello, we have no input. And the guy's a maniac.
Could you imagine Phil's press conferences if he has a little pocket protector in there for his shirts?
Christ. Jeez. He'd be telling us, even when we're losing games, no, this is the best team that we've seen out here. This is the best Islanders team we've ever seen out here. I'm very confident that we're going to win a Stanley Cup. This is the weakest NHL I've ever seen before in my life.
JP says the Ravens are really damn good, though whether Lamar is great or not. I think they're a really good team. They're a team that's built to win in the playoffs.
This is true. Carolina Panthers did not lose today.
Kalina Stud says Carolina Panthers didn't lose today.
The Kalina Stud.
Joseph C. adds, who has the feel worse than the Browns, by the way? $230 million guaranteed to a sexual predator, and he's been awful. It'd be the Rams.
The Broncos probably feel worse. The Broncos traded for theirs and gave up an arm and a leg, signed him to a huge contract for him to be a hideous quarterback. I mean, like, it's bad. Like, let me ask you this. Who do you think feels worse as a franchise, the Browns or the Broncos?
Broncos.
Yeah. My God, the Broncos. At least the Browns still find ways to win games somehow. Don't ask me. They've got a good defense, a damn good defense. Think about this. They're winning with P.J. Walker at quarterback. Holy shit. If Deshaun Watson gets back and gets healthy, they're a team that could win a few games in the postseason. They're not a team that's a Super Bowl contender, but they can win.
Deshaun Watson wants to get back and get healthy. I think.
Well, if it was a concussion, I didn't know it was a concussion. Well, if it's a concussion, come on.
He's in concussion protocol, but you know what he did? He was on the field during the game, wearing his little beanie. Like, I mean, he didn't look hurt to me. Didn't look concussed to me.
Probably said, "Oh, look, I fell down. I hit my head a little bit. I have an opportunity to be out for the next 4 weeks."
He should have just been staggering around all the time is what he should have.
No, please stop.
Oh. Hey, suck it up. Get back in the game. Just got your bell rung.
You know what? If he doesn't look like this with his hands, he's not really hurt. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, no. Puppy, that's not nice. Come on. All righty, next comment. We're not gonna let you continue to take that off the rails there, Grump.
Gungun says, if the Eagles beat the Finns tonight, can it be used as a gauge of the Jets' strength since they beat Philly last week? No. Or does it mean about as much as a down payment by John Spano? Even less. Every week is different. Every week is different.
I do agree with that.
Drew says X looks bored. Talk some NFL, TJ. No one cares about Penn State. Exactly.
That was the Penn State freaking rant that went on for way too long.
Way too long. Thanks, X.
Honestly, X, keep watching the game.
That's what I did. Don't worry.
Here's James Farrell said, I'm a Penn State fan. I'm not happy with Franklin anymore. He will not get you to the next level. I agree. Franklin doesn't get the player that the other top teams get. He doesn't. They don't pay well enough. Sorry, they don't pay well enough.
Sure.
What's the thing that Ohio State and Michigan sell? You're going to the NFL.
This is what you put up here.
Said, is their handshake called the scissor? I think he's talking about, I don't know who he's talking about. I can just assume that it's Britney and Taylor Swifty.
Oh my God.
Christ. Okay.
They were standing up.
After last week's debacle, Guppy is he's on probation. He's on probation. He's on probation.
Grump.
Where's
No,
the-
I'm setting for you if you spike it down.
Fucking X.
Boom! Joseph C
He's
said
on-
Swifties security detail would have killed Jackson Mahomes.
Probably yes.
Now I would have liked to see him try some of his antics with her.
See Jackson get thrown through the glass. Holy shit.
That would have been so
awesome.
cool.
That shit I would have tuned in for.
And you know what? What would Ivan Drago would have said, X?
If he dies, he dies.
If he dies, he dies.
God damn.
Drew says Jackson Mahomes was in the same suite as Taylor Swifty. At least he controlled his urges today.
Yeah.
They had a cop car waiting right outside for him if he did anything.
Okay, what did my little brownie say?
Oh no, this is
We'll
this
get that one
first
next.
D-cut.
D-Cut says Nick was a mute for the first 3 months he joined the show. Now he's TJ 2.0.
I don't know who this Nick character is.
Me neither. My little brownie says women want to see other women doing chest bumps as much as we like using the word moist.
I hate that word.
Which means not very much, Grump.
Okay, I didn't know. I was going to ask. I mean, moist is that's like a wetness factor, right?
Yeah, nobody uses the word.
Could you
moist.
imagine? You remember that term X used earlier? He says that.
Bro, what comment did you just delete?
No, I didn't delete any comment.
You passed up one.
Okay, go back and find
You
it.
look like an idiot. Oh,
Yeah, I like the one where it says TJ acts like an idiot. That's one that I like. I want that one back up.
oh well. Here's the comment.
Grumpy, quit being a pervert. No chest to chest action. It's supposed to be PG here.
That's
and we
right,
listened
son.
to TJ putting up that video of the guy who doesn't like Miles Sanders. I'm like, come on.
No.
JP says Kansas City Chiefs has their ticket to the AFC Championship game punched by Taylor.
In the NFL, that's right. Double punched.
Well, actually, he's 1-7. I'm sorry, James. He did win one game against
probably
Ohio
better
State.
than that too. We just went back. Just who cares? D-Cut says Renee is on a milk carton with the while the goldfish are losing. The goldfish.
Oh, damn.
No, that's not right. JP says the Wings do really look good this year so far. That first line is pure dynamite. DeBrincat, Larkin, and Lucas Raymond.
I'm waiting. You know what? I'll just go ahead and take.
It's
just
been
wait.
4 years. It's been 4 years.
I'll wait. I'll just.
So
give
you're okay. So it's not early for the Red Wings, who are 5-1. It's not early for them, but it's early for
It is
everybody
still
else.
early. It is still early. I'm gonna wait until game 10 before I start saying anything. 10 games. 10 games in. That's what I said. Between games 5 and 10, that's where it's like, okay, really, where are we? Where's the measuring stick? 10 games in is when you kind of know, are we okay? Are we going to struggle this year? How have we looked over a 10-game sample size? That's an eighth of the season. So 10 games in, I give them 10 games.
Okay. Tony Cheese is onto something here. Sirianni looks like he cheats on his wife with uglier chicks.
Oof. Not a glowing endorsement there for Sirianni.
Yeah. Nope. Drew says, are we surprised Brandon Staley lost to Kansas City today? Nope. He always loses. Here's the thing. The Chargers have had games where they were beating the hell out of Kansas City and they'd find a way to lose at the end. It's the Staley effect.
Staley is all.
X decorates his house like a shitty dive bar in South Florida.
Oof. That's not a good compliment for you, X.
I think that was a pretty good one.
Joseph C. says the Wilpons should be proud of themselves letting Zach Wheeler walk while he is the ace of the Phillies during their potential World Series run. He's been gone for a while, though.
Yeah, but they picked the wrong guy. I want to show you this. Look at this freaking assist. I think this is by McKinnon. Yeah, look at this assist by McKinnon last night. Holy shit, talent.
He's pretty good. He's pretty good.
Just look at this. Woo.
Whoa. Slavin, and Slavin's a good defender. Whoa, man, he gave the okey doke not once but twice.
Holy shit. And look at this.
Pretty good.
Didn't even have to do anything. 12 just stands there, just redirects the puck right in. Just look at it. Whoop. And he waits.
You know what?
As soon as he starts turning his direction and starts accelerating forward, whoop, puts on the brakes.
But sometimes you just got to say, you know what? That was just a great play by that guy.
Fantastic.
Slavin's a really freaking good defenseman. I mean, McKinnon's just fantastic. He waits till he gets his hips totally turned and then he starts charging, duck it again. It's tough. It's tough. He's that good. Colorado's undefeated this year. That's the Islanders' next opponent.
I heard it'd be pretty easy. They're going to be playing us on the road, though. So, Helen Yeller says, yo, what's up, boys? XL pop-up comments if you need to get reading and current with them.
Okay.
Drew L says, I'm vomiting, farting,
and shitting, that disgusting act between two ladies. Thanks for everything, Grumpy. You're welcome.
Grumpy, Max Verstappen wins the U.S. Grand Prix after starting from 6th. Sadly, the jealous savages in Austin booed him during the trophy presentation.
Me and my little brownie know that Max Verstappen is the best. They're just jealous. Jealous of success.
Grumpy, how do you think you would do in a Grand Prix race?
Not good.
Do you think you can finish one lap without crashing?
Absolutely. I come in dead last, but I mean, first of all, here's what people don't realize. Those guys are really moving. Television does not do justice how fast those guys are going. They don't. I mean, and here's the thing. I'm not somebody who goes to NASCAR races or Formula One races, but if you ever see like that one, like where it's like, okay, this is the static camera shot, just zip, 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 zip. Those guys are flying. Those guys, I mean, it's not like, hey, I'm going to drive 90 in a 75 zone. It's not like that. Those guys are moving.
It's like Jalen Carter driving 95 on a 25 back road. That's kind of what that's like.
And with the Formula One guys, man, they're doing like the hairpin turns, downshift. I mean, all right, I can drive, but I can't do that.
Helen Yeller says, last 2 games were depressing. First 2 were awesome. Talking about the Islanders.
True.
Yeah. Carolina Stud says,
Carolina Stud. The Carolina.
Do we have the Burnley versus Brentford highlights on deck? Probably Phil Jerkovic's fault they lost.
Oh boy. Who is Carolina Stud? That sounds like one of
he's a fan of the king of the second place Liverpool.
Oh, wow.
You know, at least, hey, we've won a championship more frequently. Recently,
I heard he's a fan of watching Europa League. That's what I heard.
Oh, dun, 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 dun. Yeah, that's right. He is. He's a fan of the Europa League.
That's not nice.
I'm not. You know, I'm a fan of none of the leagues.
I don't know what Europa League is.
Wow!
Being a Real Madrid fan, actually wouldn't know.
I don't know what that is.
You know what Champions League winners are.
Oh yeah, I know what that is. I know that kind of soccer. Yeah.
You know, hopefully Liverpool at least wins the league by not accepting the 250 million pound offer that the Saudis were willing to pay for Mohamed Salah. Hopefully that Liverpool wins the league. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense.
I want to draw a comparison from Real Madrid to Liverpool. Real Madrid is like Ohio State and Michigan, and Liverpool is like Penn State. They just, anytime that a big bidding war comes up, like Jude Bellingham, Real Madrid, aka Ohio State or Michigan, get that player.
Liverpool, on TV standpoint as well, anytime big games come up also, Ohio State, aka Real, always beats Penn State.
That's true.
Oh, man. I hate agreeing with this no-sleeve wearing obnoxious ball-headed jerk, TJ, but Franklin is shit. I'm telling you, you do not watch any of the games. You don't know. You don't know.
Your hatred of that man it's a borderline.
It's accurate. Wrong. It's accurate, and it's a topic that needs to be discussed.
Drew says MVP of the Miami Dolphins at halftime, yards after catch.
Oh, man. How many yards after catch? Oh, did he just dump a little pass off to Tyreek Hill and he ran it in for a touchdown?
Is that no, the Tyreek Hill one was a deep pass that he had.
Was he wide open per the usual?
I mean, he got separation. I wouldn't say he was. I mean, yeah, I guess you could consider. I mean, he wasn't like wide open, but he was open.
How close is the closest defender? Like 5 yards?
Okay.
No, like maybe
this umpire just called the Texas guy out. That wasn't even freaking close. He missed that. I mean, I think they want Houston in the World Series. That wasn't even freaking close. And they challenged it and it got overruled. I'm like, what the hell are you doing calling the guy out? It wasn't even freaking close. That shit wasn't.
Is Angel Hernandez umping the game?
Some Johnny Pencil pusher piece of shit.
Look at the atmosphere, by the way, for this game.
That's what happens when you're a winner.
Jesus H. Look at that. It is just, I mean, slam bam the jam packed.
Yeah, man, they're good. They can bang on trash cans and use shockers like any other team, right?
They're good though.
I think with
find their hitters of what pitches are coming in.
You cannot really say that Houston is not a good team. They're really good.
They're a cheater. Yes, that's correct.
Okay, but they're really good as well.
They cheat and they also cheat.
They're good. Not anymore. They got caught.
Bullshit. Oh my God.
They should have had the pennant stripped from them. That's simple. You get
Never
caught
happened.
cheating like that?
Never
Okay, I
happened.
don't care if it never happened.
Never happening. Never happening.
Spineless. Manfred,
Never
spineless.
happening.
Dude,
Never
Tyreek
happened.
Hill just dropped a wide open touchdown pass right in his hands.
Who did?
Tyreek Hill.
Oh,
Right
the
in his
MVP.
hands.
He remembered that he plays for Miami.
So we got to make this game close. JP said, Mark, maybe less than what Swayman is, but is looking really good tonight so far.
Yeah, they're a good goaltender tandem, without doubt.
Do you remember the Lamanites telling us, Boston, they're not making the postseason this year. Boston sucks. They lost Patrice Bergeron. They lost, who else did they lose? Bergeron. They lost Krejci. They lost so many talented players. Look at their team. Look at their centers. It looks like an AHL depth chart. The Boston Bruins might not be making the postseason this year.
And I said,
started off the season.
What I said was Boston could lose 15 regulation games more than they won last year and still make the playoffs. They're good. They're good.
It's a 0-0 game between Boston and Anaheim. But you would figure, right? They probably are going to beat the Anaheim Ducks tonight, right?
Should.
If
They're
they
undefeated
win.
as well. Boston's also undefeated.
Yes, absolutely. Boston off to a pretty damn good start. Olmark has 18 saves tonight. Wow. 18 saves for both goalies. Wow. So that maybe is a little bit of a back and forth game. Goon, grumpy old man.
Refs in all sports suck. I cannot believe they don't have some sort of rating system in place that if you fart out countless bad calls, you should be out of there like poop through a goose.
They're like
They have
Leatherman.
union too.
Yeah, they're like
They have
Leatherman.
they have
You
an official
need to
union.
fuck up calls and not have anything wrong.
They
No
have, I
reprimand.
believe, a union. They have a union too. So even when they do absolute shit, they still go ahead and have the union always to protect them and protect their job and employment.
Drew says I can see the LED lights through X's picture frame over his head.
Yes.
Yeah.
There it is. Tony
hate those.
Cheese, grumpy.
I think there's a lot of people in this chat who called the Bills overrated, and it seems as though that we were correct. Drew also says Sean McDermott has been garbage ever since Brian Daboll left. Ken Dorsey, who's Buffalo's offensive coordinator, sucks major as well. Josh Allen has looked awful also. He's also hurt. He's got a shoulder injury.
Really?
Yep.
When is their bye week?
Not soon enough.
Late.
Tony Cheese says definitely inconsistent. All they have to do is make the playoffs, though. They're the one team that can beat Kansas City if they play him. Tony Cheese says Taylor Swift is the ultimate bandwagon fan, and it makes me sick.
It does too. Also, Puka Nacua.
At this point is better than Cooper Kupp. No, stop. Hard stop.
I'm telling you. This
did make
year
a
he's
nice
going to
throw.
overtake him. Yep. James F said, guys, where you think Long Island hockey is going to turn out? My son said they combine CWP Post team.
CW Post
And the Long Island University Brooklyn team together.
No
I don't know
idea.
what any of that means. Grumpy, I'm going to need you to decipher what that means for me.
I don't know anything about those teams.
Okay. Drew L said, in defense of Jordan Love, he hasn't had enough of a sample size yet, and his offensive weapons suck. Romeo Dubes on a good team is the number 3 receiver.
True.
TJ, Kenny Kitten Mittens sucks. Pittsburgh better trade up to get a quarterback. Well, here's the unfortunate thing. They're never going to be in a spot where they're losing enough games to have a real prime opportunity to get a top-tier QB. That's just a sad truth of it. So,
Grumpy Jalen Hurts, pick 6.
really?
Fuck.
Wow.
X, you need to just shut up. I don't want to hear about any of that.
Wow.
Sorry.
Jalen, I'm telling you.
Sorry about it.
Jalen Hurts, not that good. We told you that. Told you that this season. They figured him out. Wow, he just threw a pick 6. Yikes.
So what's the score of that game now? X.
17-17.
17-17 tie game.
Wow. Wow. Goon.
Grumpy, you said the Bills head coach has to go more so than frown face. What about Coach Kojak if the Jets fail again and fall on their face? I just wanted this something. Bill Belichick won his 300th regular season game today. And
That's
so
it.
they did.
I thought he had more wins than that.
Well, he does if you count playoffs.
Okay, that's what it is.
With Brady there, Brady was responsible for probably 370 of his 300 wins. So, but something they did, the pressure was on Belichick. People saying there's no way he should come back as coach next year. He should be fired. What's the new direction for the New England Patriots, considering how bad they've been? He's the general manager. He should be gone. All of a sudden today, the Patriots leak out some information which they've never done in their history, by announcing that Bill Belichick had signed a multi-year contract extension this offseason to be head coach and general manager of the New England Patriots. You think they were feeling the heat, X? You think that's why they came out and announced that?
Yep.
I mean, let's be honest. How many years are you going to give them? If it's multiple years, you got to say what? 2? Let's say it's this year and next year.
I think, as you said earlier in other podcasts, they want to have the most winningest coach.
I agree.
And regardless of how the team performs, I think they want to get that. So,
yes. Okay, X. What a Film says, what are you donkeys talking about? X, you're in TJ's spot. There was a crazy brawl in the Cowboys-Chargers game. Hi, Grumpy. Hey, Sean. How you doing? We didn't see that. What also adds, Goon, you got to replace that toilet with a picture of a hot chick. That's cool. We're fine with that. Drew says, why go to the strip club when you can bring the strip club to you? Talking about that goof, whatever his name is. What a Foam says, that's messed up. Don't these ladies have mothers? Yeah. Tony G says, already seen a blowy at the Oakland A's game. Yeah,
that's true.
That was in the upper deck. There was nobody around them. They were in the upper deck. They really had to look. And you really couldn't tell. You assumed just by the positioning that's what was happening. There was nothing to be hidden.
It was happening.
JP says, with artists such as Pooh Shiesty and Blueface Baby, is there any wonder why we're having big structural social problems in society? Absolutely not. None whatsoever. You got to stop that shit. Honestly, it's like anything goes. Well, you know what? Sorry. Is there such a thing as too much freedom? Gungun says Goodell doesn't have the cojones to ban that moron rapper tossing bills at the booties. I'd love for Grumpy to be crowned the new head honcho of the NFL. Would a petition help accomplish this goal? Absolutely. That's honestly, that's embarrassing. That's embarrassing to the NFL. They just say, dude, you're not coming to any more of our games. Sorry. You're not buying a box. We'd rather have it go empty.
Yep.
What it sells, I agree with Grumpy. It's quite disgusting. There are children in the stands. Absolutely. Gungun says, should Phil's Facts be considered a jock or a nerd? He's a nerd all the way. Drew says, when Blake Shelton made God's Country, I don't think he had Blueface bringing the strip club to the LA Rams game in the mind. No,
that's very true.
Not. Drew also adds, do us all a favor, Grumpy, and go off the rails. Screw what TJ says. TJ's always trying to shackle my creativity. Gungu says, can the Islanders right the ship or is about to tip? It's too early to tell. I stand by my statement from the beginning that I think they'll be contending probably for the last playoff spot. But it is problematic if teams like Detroit and Ottawa are true playoff contenders, and it's early, of course. But if those teams continue to play well and if their youth is starting to show through and show that they can play at a higher level, that's problematic for the Islanders, as well as some of the other teams that automatically assume to make the playoffs. Just more difficult. Films adds, the Islanders could really use a Mike Modano. Could you imagine? We need a left wing on the first line or right wing desperately, for certain. VAR looked good in his first game. I think the Islanders sneak into the playoffs because of their goaltending. All hail Sorokin. I don't, and when you listen to Lane Lambert after the game, he kind of acknowledged what I've been saying for a while now. The Islanders can't keep up with the speed of some of these teams in the league. He said the speed was too much for them in the neutral zone, and they need to, somehow the Islanders need to just be better keeping these teams contained coming through the neutral zone. It's a problem. Gungun says, you like that snap, X?
I don't need you to snap at me. I'm paying attention.
Okay. Son X, does the size of TJ's water thermos intimidate you? Can he hurt himself potentially?
Well, the size of his water thermos is the reason why he's not here. Now he magically.
Good one, X.
And yeah, he can hurt himself with too much having to go to the bathroom too often.
Hold on. What the hell just happened here, huh? I feel like I feel like X was disparaging me.
Nothing.
No.
Next.
Not at all. X is he's just being honest.
Observe
Is this episode in danger of mysteriously disappearing, or is it sturdy and safe?
I still want to know why last episode disappeared. I want to know what Grumpy said to make last episode disappear verbatim.
No, we can't say that.
Is it safe?
Hold on. Looky here. Alexander popped in. Let's go, Dolphins!
After that episode. Tua showing up in the big moments. Yeah, but they're just on the sideline. That pick six had nothing to do with them.
Hold on. What has Tua done today?
I don't know.
Not much, right? He's got one passing touchdown? Okay. I don't know. If the Eagles weren't throwing pick sixes, they'd be down still. So who knows? Who knows? Let's look at some more comments here, though. D-Cut says, has your opinion of that self-centered blowhard Caleb Williams changed? Part ownership, my ass. Go scratch Caleb.
We talked about that on Thursday, the aforementioned Thursday podcast. There's no owner who's going to give an ownership stake to any, and I mean anybody who's an NFL player.
Yes.
No freaking way. Let alone some kid out of college. Go paint your nails somewhere else, son.
Again, like we talked about it too. You don't even know if he's going to be there for the entirety of his career. And then you have a situation where, because remember, the NFL stepped in and said, no, that's not allowed. Because you could have a guy who's drafted by a team, then gets traded, and he's a part owner and has a vested interest in another team winning when he could be playing against them.
And my point was, the owners are not giving stakes and ownership to a freaking player. It's just not freaking happening. It's their team. They bought it. I'm not giving you ownership to shit. I pay you to run around on the field. That's what I do. Do your job out there on the field. You get paid for that. You're not getting ownership. Oh, how about we take out all the expenses that it costs to run the team out of your end? How about that?
What if Phil said that Miami Dolphins coach was funny for like a minute. Then he goes in and he's trying and goes on trying to be funny. It's kind of annoying.
No, it was better off when he was just the clueless.
The clueless goof.
Drew says Barry Trott's losing his mind in anger after seeing Nathan McKinnon being creative with that puck.
Colorado looks pretty scary early on.
Yeah, it looks like they're back to where they were when they won the Stanley Cup. Much better. And remember, they still don't have Landeskog. He's out for the year.
Yeah.
And Duell says, X, the Astros won without cheating last year, which they did. You say
How do we know? How do we know?
Oh, okay.
How do we know?
Say it like the Yankees.
Once a cheater, always a cheater. Once a cheater, always a cheater.
Yeah.
Once a cheater, always a cheater. You get brandished with that reputation now. Period.
You say it like the Yankees are nothing but perfect. They never cheated, right? They absolutely have. All teams do. All teams do to some extent. They do.
When?
The 2015 and 16 Yankees confirmed, stole signs. Don't believe it. Look at they did. That's why the Yankees did. They absolutely did. But it's been confirmed. Everyone knows it. The Yankees have, okay.
My point.
Teams.
What's the source?
All teams do whatever they can. Maybe the Astros took it a little bit further, but the Yankees have been.
They're literally buzzing players for what?
Why do you think it did? Why do you think the Yankees
buzzing players for when off-speed pitches are coming?
Why
to me, that's taking stealing signs to a whole nother level.
Why do you think the Yankees really didn't complain too much when the Astros got popped for that? They didn't jump in and criticize them because they're doing the same shit.
So they knew the league wouldn't do shit about it.
Drew says, yet the Lamanites forget David Pastrnak exists clearly. He got half of my total goals in fantasy this week. He's good. And particularly in the regular season, he's really good. Guru says, TJ, you just said the Astros should get their World Series win stripped away due to cheating. What about the Patriots when Frown Face was videoing others? The steroid-loving Yankees of the late 90s and early 2000s? No.
I think individuals acting and cheat I don't know. They were cheating in the World Series. That's the problem I have. If you're cheating in a regular season, man, maybe you get a game revoked. Maybe you go ahead and something like that. if you're cheating, and it's like you see them, remember when he's rounding the bases after Altuve hits that home
He's
run.
got a fucking
Don't rip
wire
my
on
shirt
his
off. Don't
chest.
take my shirt off because he's got the wire on his chest.
The wire on his chest. He's
That I
getting
have a
buzzed for
problem
what
with.
pitches are coming in. That's bullshit.
I do.
Knowing what pitch is coming in and maybe doing something about it is completely different than getting buzzed. Hey, guess what? Off speed's coming. Get ready to sit back on it and kill it. That's bullshit. I'm sorry.
Oh man. By the way, how's Eckler look this year? As washed as I predicted. Yeah, you only have a certain time period where you could be successful as a running back, and once that time is up, man, you're done. He's done and dusted. I mean, like he had the same thing with Melvin Gordon. Remember when Melvin Gordon was the great running back for the Chargers too? Whoa, Melvin Gordon! They had to trade him away. I'm going to sit out of here. They trade him away to the Broncos. He looks like a washed version of himself too.
Melvin Gordon's still kicking around with Baltimore though.
Is he with Baltimore now?
Yeah.
But that's my thing though, right? As soon as the guy goes over the hill and he's done, man, he's done in a hurry. Because that's just how the shittiest position you can play as a player now is running back. That's simple. Yep. If you're washed as a running back, you have a short finite time period, about 4 to 5 years, and as soon as that time's up, you're done.
See, unfortunately, you don't pay running backs big second contracts.
Yep. Very few. Oh shit. I'm sorry, my bad. Very few actually have to where they play past that first contract. It's more rare than not at this time period. But my little brownie, Grumpy.
The G-forces on an F1 driver's body are insane. It's like being hit by a linebacker for an hour and a half. No timeouts, no halftime. X, what can Grump and I do to get you interested in F1?
Get me behind an F1 car.
No. You know what you need to do, Milo Brown? I can tell you what you do to get X interested in F1. Take away his little Xbox.
Oh,
that's what you can do.
I haven't even played games in forever.
He hasn't played games this weekend because he was at the bachelor trip. That's what that means.
Bachelor trip.
No, in general, like I haven't played games in a long time.
TJ, can we see the jersey? Is the jersey there? X has not seen the jersey.
Yeah, we'll show the jersey later on.
Ooh,
yeah.
What jersey? What's this jersey you speak of?
I don't know.
Grumpy, I think I've seen
it
the
up.
jersey.
Keeps forcing it forward. Goon, Grumpy.
Son X, how come you were blessed with such a robust hairline?
It's not. He's just younger. That's
okay.
All.
My hair used to be like that too. TJ's not so much.
And then Grumpy fell into a vat of chemicals and burned
like,
it all.
Like the Joker did in the original Batman with Jack Nicholson and
TJ's always been bald.
It's always been bald.
Speaking of UEFA,
this is from Kalina Stud.
Kalina Stud. Speaking of UEFA officials paying Real Madrid X, since you and TJ love blowing the Saudis, how do you feel about Vinny getting 200 million euros per year offer from Al Hilal?
Seeing that he said he wants a lifetime contract with Real Madrid, I feel pretty good about him staying with Real. I don't think he's leaving anytime soon. And then you want to talk about the UEFA officials paying Real Madrid paying the UEFA officials. One team's been charged, which is Barcelona. Real is not. So
I'll say this.
Now the president for Barca has been charged as well. So it just keeps getting worse and worse.
If they came with an offer of 300 million pounds, not euros, pounds, I'd take that in a heartbeat for Vinny. See you later, Vinny.
He doesn't want to play there.
Okay, here's the thing. Vinicius Jr. has a $1 billion buyout
clause.
Right.
Release clause.
If you want him, you're going to have to pay Real $1 billion.
Not including the transfer fee as well.
No, transfer fee
that's it. It's $1 billion.
I thought they had to pay the transfer fee also.
You want to pay $1 billion? If I was Real Madrid and somebody offered me $1 billion for Vinicius Jr., I'd take it in a second because I could get how many players to replace him.
Yep.
Here's the thing. Vinny's got a lot more playing left than Mohamed Salah. And Salah, I mean, like the 200 million pounds for him was just foolish for Liverpool not to take. Just a dumb decision by the team.
Dumb.
But hey, they like to do that type of stuff. And I guess maybe they'll be
like to be in Europa League. That's why.
Maybe they'll get half of that. Maybe they'll get half of that next year when they go ahead and finish second to City.
Texas is going to find a way to lose this game today. They're 4-2 lead in the bottom of the 8th. And they just can't seem to want to get anybody out.
To answer the
maybe Altuve will get buzzed again and hit another 3-run shot. Maybe that'll happen. Maybe he'll get buzzed on the chest again.
What's the one thing a pitcher needs to do, X? What's the one thing a pitcher absolutely has to do?
Not have signs given so the other team can't
What's
pick them
the
up.
one thing a pitcher has to do?
Throw strikes.
Hit spots.
Throw freaking strikes.
You have to hit spots.
They got their closer in there. He's not even close to putting the ball over the plate. And
What
you
if-
look at their Duggan like this guy blows.
It's Adolis Chapman is the closer, right, for the Rangers?
No, some guy Leclerc. Just he's missed 3 straight pitches by 2 feet.
What a film says here. Son X is the only one with hair, other than TJ's porn stash.
That's true.
And you cover F1. They're beasts, top athletes for sure.
I'll
Great
say
job.
I did see a little highlight clip of after one of the races was finished. I think it was like a super long race. Man, those guys are cramped up sitting in those cars for all that time.
Yeah.
Holy shit. They're getting because like your knees are like bent the whole time you're racing.
I do want to give an update. The Eagles have
They scored.
regained the lead once more over the.
Was it a touchdown pass to AJ Brown?
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I think it was.
And
Okay.
he walks them. Walks the bases loaded. Good job. Get him out. Get him out. You want to go home tonight, Bochy? Get this piece of shit out of there. He can't throw a strike. Finally, somebody coming out and just say, this pitcher sucks.
I heard it's good when you go out in the mountain and say, "You suck. You're fired."
Have you ever seen the
Can't put a
video
ball,
of that
if
guy?
you can't put the ball over the plate, you're out. Chapman is
Have
warming
you,
up.
have you
He's
ever
a
seen the
bust,
video of
dude.
that guy? He's coaching those kids and he's walking up to him. He's like,
Yes.
you are literally the worst player I've ever seen in my life. Like he's just shitting on the kids so bad. It's hilarious. And they're
Yes,
young.
I've seen that.
They're like maybe 12, 13. He's just trash.
I have
Drew
seen this.
says-
Yes.
Drew says, with the way Hurts has been playing, I think he's hurt, by the way. I feel more confident Philly isn't going to the Super Bowl again with him as their quarterback. Seems like the $55 million per year was a waste of a contract.
He had one really good year, and it was when they couldn't figure out how to stop him. and
Wait,
they-
hold on. This piece of shit that they put in the game is the same guy who gave up the 3-run home run to Altuve to lose on the
Why
last
would you
game.
put him back
Why would
in?
you put him back out there? Oh, I think they yanked him out. His eyes are like this.
He shouldn't be pitching against the.
He shouldn't be
against the
pitching.
Texans, man.
He
should
all
not be
terrified, Grumpy. Is that what it is?
He blows. He sucks and blows. Drew says, we already read this one. Come on, X. You said you're paying attention. Come on,
All right,
X.
TJ, start comments.
I'll read these. I'll put them up in here. I really like Sun X. TJ's gone now. You can get in. You can get some words in. That's enough to use the bathroom. Goon Goon Grumpy says Sun X and Grumpy. You should stand in solidarity with TJ. One show and in all sports tank tops.
Maybe TJ should wear a shirt and stand in solidarity with us.
No, I'm down for that. Let's stand in solidarity and all wear tank tops. Grumpy, are you down for that?
I do what I do.
Jalen Hurts is Jameis Winston if he could rush the football. Wow, he's not that bad, is he?
He's not that bad.
Jameis Winston's bad, man. He's bad.
Very bad.
James F says here, TJ, can you put it up a picture of Jay Heim in Mayfield and TJ look all alike? Why they're saying my hair is that bad, huh? Jay Heim, I'm sure he does not have good hair.
He's a freaking catcher. Jonah Heim, he's a catcher. Who's this big guy coming up? Bases loaded, 2 outs, bottom of the 8th. Singleton. I don't know who he is. He looks like he wants to hit the ball, though.
Nick Singleton?
I don't know his first name. Singleton's his last name. Google says, Grumpy, what was the high point and low point of working for the Panthers? The high point of working for the Panthers. The most exciting game I ever saw was a game they beat Pittsburgh. I believe it was 14-12. Super exciting. Is a game that got them into the playoffs in 1997, I believe it was. It was a tremendous game. The low point, when they were really bad, it was tough. Stadiums were empty. Just no one had any excitement. I couldn't give you the exact thing.
There were a lot more bad years than good years, right?
Yes.
Well, they were pretty good early. They were consistently good.
I mean, like I remember, I feel like it would have been fun. You talk about the enthusiasm, like the keep pounding. I remember that, like, that was really, there's a lot of enthusiasm behind the fan base for keep pounding and Sam Mills and everything like that too.
Yeah, that's when he had cancer. He said, keep pounding was his thing. And
Yeah. Renee will disappear in 2 minutes after the Eagles score again. Oh, no. Connor McDavid out for 2 weeks. Yeah, injured.
yeah, he was banged up a little bit in the previous game against the Philadelphia Flyers. This is a shock. And then he got hurt yesterday, missed like the last 5 minutes of the game and could not even play in overtime.
Edmonton are in early trouble, says JP. I don't know where they're going to win. I don't know if they're going to win this division. I agree with X, by the way. They're probably cheating still and probably being sanctioned by the MLB. We did that, Grumpy.
I don't think that's the case.
Okay, how can they consistently make it to the playoffs or make it in the World Series every single year then?
Because they're freaking good. How about when the Yankees won,
Sure.
4 out of 5 years? How about that? I mean, were they? I mean,
team too.
every team does something. They try to push the envelope all the time. That's what they do. Going back to when
don't tell me that they're not still cheating, because I think that's absolute horseshit.
Back to when the New York Giants were stealing signals off of the Brooklyn Dodgers when Bobby Thompson hit the home run in 1951. I mean, they came out and admitted it.
Did they buzz him? Did they buzz him to let him know, hey, off speed's coming? Sit on it.
They were looking at signals. They were calling the signals. Wood says, yeah, I agree, Grumpy. The game is getting so fast, and our identity line can't keep up. It's time for a change. We need speed all over the ice. Can't keep up with the Sabres at all. And the Sabres aren't the only team. I mean,
there's a lot of the teams that are slow. It's why teams like Pittsburgh struggle against teams with speed. Washington struggles against teams with speed. The Islanders struggle against teams with speed. Now, we've done, I think, a good job augmenting some speedy players along the way. But teams like Washington have said, yeah, we'd rather get a few more extra draft picks. We want to kind of build a little bit towards, the future perhaps. And I don't know. I don't know how that's going to impact us. We're a team that's still doubling down on the same exact lineup. JP, Grumpy. Oh, hold on. I'm sorry. Andrew L. Grumpy.
How do we know? Manfred, this is to you, X. How do we know? Manfred and the league swept the Yankee scandal under the rug. They did. Just type in on Google Yankees cheating, and it's the top link Yahoo article. They won. That's why the Yankees kept their mouths shut with the Houston thing. They just kept their mouths shut because they knew they were guilty too. All teams do it.
I'm just going to say one team has been proven guilty, the other hasn't.
Okay. That's why it's like you don't want to throw stones. I will say one thing: the banging on the trash cans and doing it in the World Series did bother me.
And having a buzzer on your chest.
I don't think they did that in the World Series. I think
they did do it in the World Series.
Okay, they did. He hits a walk-off homer, and he's holding his chest in his jersey. He said, "Don't rip my shirt off. Don't rip my shirt off."
You can see a wire down his chest. You can see the wire going down his chest.
Next,
got a buzzer on.
Next,
got the buzzer on.
Interception, Tua.
Wow! No! Tua! Stumbling, bumbling, rumbling, Tua Tagovailoa.
Tua Tagovailoa.
Oh no, Tua.
That's actually bad news for me. I'm going to lose this week in fantasy. I was projected to win. The guy I was going against was projected to have 53 points this week, and he has over 80.
53, and you're going to lose.
He had 3 players who weren't even playing today, 2 guys on bye, and 1 that was hurt.
And you lost,
but he had
still going to lose.
He had Devonta, he had Foreman, and he had Gibbs. And Gibbs, all of Gibbs's points were
garbage
points.
You
JP
says
lose. It's true that all teams try to gain an edge, but Houston basically has its entire stadium bugged, as do the New England in the NFL, by the way.
I'm not sure how much cheating the Patriots do now. Like, I will tell you one thing. When you're winning a lot, they start really being extra. They have a lot more scrutiny on you because they're like, okay, what's going on? What are they doing differently that allows them to win so many games?
The Patriots won because they had the greatest football player of all time on their team for 20 years.
I think it's because they were cheating a lot. I agree with you.
Well, here's my thing. It would be the comparison would be, I know they were filming scrimmage, but the difference would be, hey, it's like you have the team you're going against playbook, and you can know exactly what they're setting up for their defense. Or what they're setting up for their offense, you know how to stop them. That's the difference. That's what it's like knowing pitches.
Okay. They played them earlier in the year, and they were able to keep that offense, that Rams defense, under control. And they did it for the majority of the Super Bowl game. At the end of the game, they couldn't keep up with them anymore. his thing. Belichick is a great defensive coach. No doubt about it. He led those Giants teams to Super Bowls and the Patriots teams. He's a great coach. Was a great coach. I still think he's really good. Just doesn't have the players anymore because GM Belichick is not that good. It was Brady. It's always Brady. Brady, how many games were they behind? Brady leads them back to win. It was always Brady. Next, X.
TJ, I'm starting.
Okay, I'm trying to pull up here. I was speaking of that, like stealing plays. There was a funny clip. Oh man, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to find it that well. What a film says here. Ouch on McDavid. Will Bedard lead the league in scoring this year? No, no, he won't. He'll be damn good. He'll win rookie of the year though. He'll win the Calder as long as he stays healthy. Gungun says, was the Mets shit season all a new dream, a hallucination, or was it entirely based in reality? Yeah, it's reality based. The team's going to be bad for a while. I mean, they doubled down a lot of
not necessarily
two or so years. I think they're 2 or 3 years. I mean, they're going through a rebuilding process. You disagree, Grump?
I think you can rebuild fast in Major League Baseball.
I think so too, but I think it's they're going through a rebuilding process. Mario says here
it was an underthrown ball to Jalen Waddle that was picked off.
Because he doesn't have the arm. He does that. What was it? 10-yard pass? That noodle can't throw a ball.
Like 20 yard.
Underthrew a 20-yard pass. He's a noodle arm. You earn a name like Noodles.
It's not given.
It's not a given.
There it is. Next comment here we got pulled up there for us, Grump.
Does the once a cheater, always a cheater apply to Brady and the Patriots? Brady, first of all, didn't cheat.
Yeah, he wasn't involved. It absolutely was Belichick and the Belichick and the Patriots organization, I would say. It wasn't Brady.
Not Brady. The great Brady.
Another comment here by Drew, grumpy old man.
Honestly, Melvin Gordon was always a okay running back who had one good season. True.
He was a very competent runner, though.
25-17 Eagles. Renee bounced.
24. Okay. And then he got correct himself and said 24.
Okay.
I have something I want to show you. This is funny as hell. What I'm going to do here, give me a sec. I'll let you keep reading these. I'm going to switch over, but I want you to listen to this because talking about cheating and like the play scripts, this was something really funny that I thought was 100% applicable. Give me 1 second. We're going to pull this up, but keep reading comments there.
Talk about Oklahoma.
We'll find out in a second. D-Cut says, JP, Wallstrom is a coach killer. I disagree. Drew adds, by the way, what's up with everyone saying that Wallstrom played bad last night? He didn't. Even if the Islanders fans don't even give the kid a chance to play a few games. Well, it's the Lamanites. We can't hear you, TJ.
I'm going to go ahead. Grumpy, can you hear me now?
Yes.
I'm going to go ahead and run this clip. Hold on.
Everyone here knows about this game.
The Red River rivalry is heated up. Touchdown, Texas! Touchdown, Sooners! Williams got him on the blitz!
But there's something about one of the games in this rivalry that, well, most people don't know.
I had heard this story before, but not in any kind of official or formal way.
Everybody likes a good caper, and everybody wants to know something the other guy doesn't know.
Call it the Cotton Bowl Caper. The year was 1999. And making his debut in the rivalry was a mysterious new character, calling plays for OU.
I know that we got to do anything we can to get an edge and to try to keep them off balance and try to get them to squander as many plays as we can.
Isn't he dead now, Mike Leach?
The Sooners were heavy underdogs, and on Wednesday night, just 3 days before the game, Leach had an idea. More like a play script scheme.
We wanted to just see how honest Texas was, so we decided to write up a script, a dummy script.
The challenge for Leach in the decoy script was to come up with complementary plays to the actual one. So if you were running a play to the left, you wanted the decoy script to say something was going to the right.
The next part of the plot, call it the drop. Leach used one of his players pregame to deploy the decoy, so Texas would be sure to find it.
He's like, I want you to run past their sideline, and as you're running up the tunnel, I want you to take the script and act like you're putting it in your belt loop, and let it fall out onto the ground. It was kind of the first real espionage I'd ever been a part of.
One of their GAs is wandering by and, oh, what's this? A piece of paper. He looks at it and his eyes get kind of big and he sort of hides it and looks around to see if anybody saw him get it.
Sure enough, the fake play script made its way straight to the Texas locker room.
We all thought it was real because we thought that the alternative would be just so far-fetched that somebody would go through the trouble to create a fake call sheet and actually leave it and drop it, where we would find it.
Kyle Reese takes it up to the press box. He starts studying the script, trying to figure out what defense they're going to call to match up the script.
When I wasn't calling defenses, I was looking at it. And it was a huge distraction.
And on the second play of the game, the script says double reverse pass.
We were trying to get them over there to the left. We hit Savage and everybody was over to the left and Savage was to the right.
So on first down, Hyper wide open is the freshman Savage. Touchdown, Oklahoma.
It's very hard in the course of a football game to go back and see a wide receiver at any level of football that wide open.
Going up top, Jackson one-on-one, turns around with a catch to the end zone.
As the game went on, it was a catastrophe.
By the time it was 17-0 Sooners, Coach Reese had seen enough of the so-called script.
What'd I tell you?
So I was about to say, we talk about the cheating in sports. I remember I saw that one. I'm like, it's well known that anybody who gets the opportunity to cheat will.
Absolutely. That's my whole point. Every team is cheating. Every team is finding a way to gain an edge, legal or illegal. That's just the way it is. Get used to it. It's like the days
maybe
of
teams that play against maybe teams that play against Houston should put out fake pitch calls then before the game. Tip Houston off on that and then do their real ones. Maybe that's what they should do.
Maybe.
See how well Houston plays after that.
Yep.
You go.
You
already read this. What a film says here. At least Vinny can go grocery shopping without pulling his hair out. I think everything tripled in price. I'm not sure what that is. Andrew L. Grumpy Old Man says here, what about Altuve's 3-run bomb last night in the top of the 9th X? You're probably going to say he was buzzed because you debate like a blue-haired liberal.
I'm going to say one thing. Facts are facts. I use my eyes. I apologize.
Drew L. Grumpy Old Man.
Son X, I just wanted to say I think you're a great person. Now, this is totally not me trying to gain favor with you as far as starring my comments or nothing like that.
Grumpy doesn't need a tank top to show he's a man.
Thank you.
JP says that's true. The Giants had coached in the conference or what is it?
Center field portion of the Polo Grounds, 480 feet away, incidentally, flashing lights to signal the batter what pitch was coming. Everybody does it. D-Cut says Noodles is at it again. Renee will never return.
Oh my God. There's 6 minutes left in the game, and Philly, I guess, is just trying to put a stranglehold on the thing.
What a film says, the Sorokin save you guys kept playing, sticking out the pad, was absolutely incredible. Nice job playing at TJ slow-mo and all. It looked impossible for him to get over that fast. He's incredible.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely, he did. Andrew L.
I'm not saying what Houston did was right, but the Yankees' hands aren't clean either. No team's hands are clean. They're all doing something. Drew says, Miami Dolphins and Tua. What happened?
No, X, do it the way it's supposed to be done.
What happened?
Miami Dolphins and Tua. Oh, good gracious here.
Tua. They might still trade Patrick Kane for Anders Lee. Don't you think, TJ? No.
Kane's he's unrestricted free agent, but he said he's not interested in the Islanders.
Do you blame him?
No, that's hilarious. Great clip, TJ. Absolutely. Thanks, there, Sean. And Drew L said here, there's an average Anders Lee, but there's also average Anders Carlson as well.
Okay.
And then was a NASCAR fan for years. They all cheat all the time. They all cheated.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They shave an inch here, cut an inch here. Absolutely.
Yep, they absolutely do. But guys, we are here at the end of the show here today. What do we want to say before we wrap things up? What do you want to say, Son X? What do you want to say, Grumpy, before we wrap things up here today?
X looks exasperated.
My fucking fantasy team, dude. I can't with this shit.
The two or three.
I'm going to lose to somebody who sat 3 fucking players who didn't play at all. Like, I can't.
Hold on. How many points do you have right now, X, in your fantasy league?
I think I barely scratched 50, 56. Tua was projected 20 points tonight. He put up 10. Brian Robinson, 8. Cooper Kupp, 6.
Ow!
Olave, 12. And Baltimore's defense, 11. And then my kicker put up 8.
X, you still have 3 more players. You still have 3 more players to go.
Again. Minnesota sucks.
Hold on. How many points are you losing by right now, X?
He's losing by 31 points.
Yeah.
Okay, so you need 3 Minnesota players to put up 31 points?
Yeah.
Who are the guys? Matson, Addison, and Hawkinson?
Yeah.
And he still has KJ
I
Osborne.
hope Kirk Cousins doesn't play like Kirk Cousins.
You got to hope they play well there.
Or you know what? Maybe I'll be lucky. Kirk Cousins will just play like shit the whole game, and then he'll get a 52-yard touchdown pass to
I'm going to tell you why that happened to you, X. I'm going to tell you why that happened to you. You're rooting for Saquon Barkley on my money league team to fumble today, and you were happy about it. I said, you're going to get cursed now because you didn't pick him up in the trade like I told you should have. And
do a tongue-eye blow would actually be an effing pass.
For a song.
Dude, I just
blame it yourself. If you would have had him, you'd be winning this week.
I can't. This guy's team consistently puts up like 60 points a week, and he puts up 80 with 3 guys out.
He's projected to have 99. He's projected to beat you by.
He was projected to have 52 points this week. 52.
Well, right now, he's projected.
I like this one here. Mario says, "Explain Deflategate and who benefited." Okay. Okay, this is such an easily disputable one. Now, you've had quarterbacks before, they over and underinflate the football all the time. You remember the same year that Cam Newton went ahead and won his MVP, Cam was on record prior years afterwards saying, I like my balls overinflated. It allows me to throw the ball
better.
Aaron
Rodgers. It was Aaron Rodgers.
Cam Newton also said the same thing. You also have stick them on the gloves. Like teams do shit like that. I will say, in baseball, I feel like the entirety of the one-on-one situation is when you know the pitch that's coming in. I think that's a huge advantage, right? Having an underinflated, overinflated ball. I don't know. I think teams do that. It runs rampant in the league, and the quarterbacks do that. It's like which teams go ahead and do a great job. Which equipment crew does a great job of breaking in footballs and putting dirt on them and allow them to have extra grip. Some teams do it different than others, but it's just like it changes the way the ball is thrown. But every team, it's not ubiquitous across the board. Every team can't go ahead and wear a football in. Teams are allowed to wear their footballs in, put dirt on them to go ahead and shine them up as well, and to break the ball in. Not every team breaks the football in the same, just like not every team holds the PSI for the football the exact same. I have no issue with the deflate.
And it was really cold. And the whole thing, and here's what disproves it. They really went overboard in the Super Bowl. Not, making sure the balls were at the right the right air pressure, and Brady against a great Seattle defense, a really, really fantastic defense, takes him from 10 points down in the fourth quarter to win that game. Because Brady is just the best.
Thanks, there, Woody. Thank you again. But
that's right.
I love it. So nice to get all wound up there. By the way, I think I stole Daryl Henderson. Got me 18 carries today. And it looks like I fixed my running back depth for 3 weeks or 4 weeks.
That's it. Then he's back to being in the streety.
I'll read this. Grumpy, can you read this? I'll be listening from the back.
TJ's fantasy team is mounting a comeback in the standings. He has caught Grumpy.
Yeah. My fantasy team, we're winning this. We're winning it all, baby. You start off slow, you accumulate all the good players through the waiver wire, and then you start freaking hammering these teams. You start hammering them, Grump.
Okay, I'd like to say, since the podcast is over now, I would like to say love and laughter to everyone who listens and even those who don't, from TJ, the grumpy old man, and Son X.
Well, thank you so much, Grumpy. X, is anything you want to say?
Yeah. Hopefully you guys, I'll have a positive update on Thursday's show with how my fantasy team did.
Is that what
yeah,
you've been all melancholy because your fantasy team's losing, X?
dude,
The fantasy team that I run, by the way.
X
that's
just
why
wants
they
the
suck
results.
ass.
X just wants the results and does none of the work.
None of the work.
No,
Oh,
no, I just want to thank everybody for coming out and listening. Had a great show, and we'll see you guys next time.
Next time.
Oh man. What a films there says. You guys made midnight. See you soon. Thanks so much, Sean, for stopping by. Thank you guys for watching the show here tonight. We'll be live with you guys this Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you don't miss out on any of the action. Make sure if you're new, you subscribe on YouTube, like the video. What did that last comment say there, X?
TJ, don't remember that you lost to me, you scrub.
I have more points on the year than you. That's all I'm going to say. Anyway, we'll end it. Thanks so much, guys, for watching. We'll see you guys Thursday at 9. Thank you, Grumpy and X.
My pleasure.
Thank you.